Honey, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is Carol Neven, and this is On the Rocks / KRA. Tonight we have a great band. I should say an orchestra, per se. We have Renaissance Rock Orchestra out of Las Vegas. This band is really pretty amazing. It's going to be great to talk to Greg Fox about what's going on with this band since pandemic. They've been working on a lot of material, and a lot of things will be happening once he logs in here, and we'll start the chat. Let's talk a little bit about some more festivals that have actually come out. We have the Lollapalooza in Chicago. This was just announced. This one is for July 29th through August 1st, 2021, of course. It's in Grant Park, my hometown. It's a beautiful park right in the heart of the city. They have a lot of festivals, and this one is coming. Foo Fighters, Post Malone, Journey, Miley Cyrus. So this one should be really interesting. It has a lot of up-and-coming indie bands. So it's really those days full of music. So it's pretty cool. It almost makes me want to go back and have some deep dish pizza and listen to some great music. So yeah, we're going to be waiting here for Greg Fox to come on and tune in with us. And it's going to be a great show. So thanks for tuning in with us. And let me see if I can get Greg to come on with us. I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. And this will be a good show. Give me just a second. I'm telling you, the concerts and everything coming out, they're starting to book are really great, and these festivals are a great opportunity to see a lot of new up-and-coming indie bands that maybe you haven't seen. The Chicago area is really a great town for rock and roll. Having the Foo Fighters back is going to be a great addition to definitely the shows. And Miley Cyrus, of course. We've talked about her many times. So she'll be doing some covers with Metallica. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see where she takes that as well. So, yeah, festivals are making a comeback. New music is coming out. I don't know if you've caught the last show we had on with Seventh Crystal. Their album just dropped, Delirium. Amazing record. If you haven't had a chance to check them out on Spotify or their YouTube. So they're pretty much a really great band as well. Independent label band. So a lot of great things coming from them as well. Future shows coming up this weekend. We're taking a break. Next Wednesday, we're going to have Dead Originals, Paul Watke, and we're going to have Divided Truth. Hi, Greg.
I can't hear you for some reason. I'm trying to figure this out. I
That's
don't know
so
why.
weird.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, totally. I think it's going to be the microphone next to the camera on your computer.
Stand by.
Okay.
I have my audio on.
That's so weird.
Check. 1, 2. Why don't I hear you?
I don't know.
Let's go back.
Is your speakers on? Hello? Hello?
I'm trying to hear you, but I don't for some reason. I'm trying to figure out why my audio is not working here.
That's weird.
Dang it.
We'll figure it out.
Keeps up. I will have to join you on my phone. Can you hear me, Carol?
Huh?
Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I can hear
No,
you.
you can't.
Yeah, totally.
You can? I can't hear you. Ah, I cannot hear you though. Stand by. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Sorry
Yeah,
about
no
that.
problem. No, no problem. Take your time. We'll figure it out. Like I said, it's normally the microphone right next to the camera at the bottom of your computer, at the bottom of the Zoom. You can go into your settings too and make sure that you're. Hang tight, everybody. We're having some technical difficulties on the other end, so just bear with us. Can you hear me now, Greg? I still can't hear me. This band's from Las Vegas. They're amazing. Can you hear me, Greg? No, you still can't hear me.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but now I can't see you.
Oh crap.
Wow. Well, this is unusual.
This is unusual. I haven't had this problem before.
Okay.
So
How about this?
I can see
I
you.
can see you. Can you see me?
I can see you, but then the big picture went out. I can see you on top here a little bit.
Okay, let's see if I can fix that here.
Let's see
I
if I
decided to
can
use
fix
my
that.
phone.
I decided to use my phone since my computer wasn't working right, and I don't know why.
We probably are on a delay.
I think so. Yeah. Don't know why.
Well, I mean, yeah, because we have to have the full screen here.
Right. How do I do that, Carol?
How do I do that, Carol?
Wow, we have quite a delay, don't we?
Wow, we have quite a delay, don't we?
All right. Well,
Turn, you know what, Greg? Greg,
Yep.
turn
Yeah.
your speakers down.
Okay.
That will
Is that
cut out
better?
How's
Yeah,
that better?
When I do that, though, I
Perfect.
can't hear you.
When I do that, though, I
It's
can't.
perfect
hear
for
you.
you.
It's perfect for you.
I can't see me while
I can't see
you,
me
though.
while I see
Damn
you,
it.
though. Damn it.
Here we go. How about that?
Well, I think it's kind of works. We still don't have a big
screen,
screen, do we?
All right.
All right.
I'm sorry. I'm
such a Zoom.
Are you
retard.
using?
I know
Well,
that's
you're
pretty-
using.
That's good.
You're using two devices, Greg, right? You're using your phone and the computer.
Let's check out of the computer
real quick. I
I
still
see myself on the computer,
but I can't hear
hear myself there.
Yeah, turn one down, like either the phone or the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
all right.
working on it.
Working on it.
It's still feeding back.
Okay, I'm
We're gonna
leave this computer. Now I lost you here on the phone. Where are you? Start video. Right. Is
There we go.
that better?
Yeah.
All right. Yay.
Actually, the picture's better.
Is it?
Yeah, the picture's totally better. Well, yeah, there we go.
There, how's that?
Perfect.
We're using the phone now. That's all right. It'll work.
Yeah, sometimes Zoom, depending on what kind of computer you have, kind
Yeah.
of, Okay, great.
Hello.
It's great to finally
Hello,
meet you, Greg.
everybody.
Welcome to On the Rock /KRA. And
Awesome.
I am a huge fan.
Oh, thank you so much.
I know you're from Vegas,
Yes,
and we have a lot to talk about.
we do.
Yes, with what's going on. So first, let's talk. I know it's hard to pinpoint who's in your band. So why
Right.
don't we go over who currently is in your band?
Right. Yes. On the new record, I took a little bit different direction than I have on the last couple records, because my original concept with Renaissance Rock Orchestra was to have it be a bit of a revolving door of artists. That's why, on our last record, we had 27 different rock stars and artists, right? We had 4 different singers, 9 different drummers, 7, 8 different guitar players. It was pretty awesome. But for the new record, I wanted to kind of create a little bit more of our identity and who we are and what we're going to be. So, of course, I wanted to use guys that I work with the most often, like Brian Tichy, who's in our Moby Dick's Led Zeppelin all-star band that we perform with all the time here in Vegas. So
Yes.
Brian did all the drums. And of course, Mark Bowles and I have worked together in Raiding the Rock Vault on many occasions, and he's been on each one of my records. So I wanted to have Mark do all the vocals on this one. And honestly, also Robin McCauley, who did several tracks on the last record, is so involved with his own solo project now, which is fantastic. Is doing great. And then before that, he was pretty involved with Black Swan. So I was a little concerned about his availability for doing live shows. So I wanted to make sure that my personnel was going to be available to do a lot of live shows in Vegas and around the country. And even though Mark's involved in a lot of different projects too, which is awesome, he is right here in Vegas. And we've talked about his availability to make sure he's available to do Renaissance Rock Orchestra shows. So we have Mark Bowles on vocals, Brian Tichy on drums. My original plan was to have just one guitar player on the record. And so I brought in Michael James Romeo, who really loves the music and is excited about being involved in the project. And Michael, has been ranked by Burn Magazine as one of the top 10 metal guitar players in the world, from Symphony X, of course. Yes. Michael James Romeo from Symphony X. And he's a brilliant arranger, and he does a lot of movie scores. And so I thought he'd be a really great guy to bring in to work on the record. And of course he was, but he's so involved in a lot of his film work that it got to the point that after about 6 months of trying to complete the record, I decided to bring in a couple other guitar players to finish it. One being my local guitar player, Christian Brady from Hell Yeah. And so Christian did a couple songs, and then Tony Alleman also, who has been with Renaissance Rock Orchestra for the last couple of years since we did our original showcase in Las Vegas. So we ended up having 3 guitar players, and then I brought in, it was so fun, and I'm so excited to introduce to all the Renaissance Rock Orchestra fans, bass player Greg Smith. He's an East Coast guy, so that's an issue for our live shows. But my gosh, he did so great on the album, played some amazing things. Greg's toured with Alice Cooper, Ted Nugent, Alan Parsons, Rainbow Dawkins. It goes on and on and on, and he's just a great, great bass player. So I was excited to bring him in and have him do all the tracks. So we have kind of this identity, this sound, The drums sound the same on all the songs. The vocals sound the same on all the songs, so that we have this new sound, and the response from the new record has been really, really remarkable. I was talking to my management guys in LA today about the negotiations we're having with some record labels to get worldwide distribution for the new record. And of course, we will probably re-release all the old records once we get the new distribution too. So yeah, we're still working out all the details on that, and it hasn't happened yet, but confidence is very, very high about that.
Yeah, those guys are that you mentioned are like amazing musicians. I think that's what
Yeah.
I love about your band the most is
They're
because
also
you've
good,
got you've got everybody, and you actually Blas Elias has played with you also, Vegas
Absolutely.
resident here. I've met him a
Yep.
few times.
Yeah.
You know, he has Slaughter still, and he
Yes.
does a lot
Trans-Siberian
of
Orchestra,
yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he's
very,
got
very
his
cool.
hands full too. And I think
He
a
does.
lot of the musicians that you've worked with also have been doing different projects during pandemic just
Absolutely,
to keep
yes.
busy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's true. Yeah. And I'm glad you brought up Bloss, because I have Bloss on my short list of guys to bring in, because Brian Tishy does a lot of other projects too. So,
Right.
when we actually get to our residency and doing live shows here in Vegas, I really expect that hopefully Bloss will come in and do some shows with us.
Oh yeah, I want to talk to you, Greg, about that. When I found out about this, I was like, yes, because you have such a great like stage presence with everybody. You guys are all in sync.
Yeah.
And I know you're playing 2 shows at Vamped, which I'm super excited about.
Right. That's going to be so fun. Yes.
I know.
That's
And
by the time we get back there, we were going to do a show, I believe it was in March of last year, right when COVID hit. I mean, it was literally the week that everything shut down. We were going to do a show.
I think I actually remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So unfortunately that didn't happen. So I guess it's not quite a year and a half since then. We're going to be playing in July, pretty close. Yeah, a long time, but it's going to be so exciting to play with the guys again and do all the Zeppelin songs. It's such a blast playing with the Moby Dicks and playing at Vamp, because we have such a great following there. And Brian Tishy is like the living embodiment of John Bonham.
I know. I cannot.
Such a bonzo guy. Yeah.
I cannot wait to see him.
Have you seen that show before, Carol? Have you seen the Moby Dicks?
Yeah. It's a great band, great party rock band. I mean, it's pretty cool. And
Brian
let's talk.
Such a powerful drummer. We also do the Bonzo Bash shows, which we've done at Vamped, and we do it at NAMM almost every year. And that's an amazing experience too, playing all the Bonham songs with all these amazing drummers. But if you've seen our show, you probably recall that Tishy, when he goes into, we all take solos. We all take extended solos because, that's the spirit of Led Zeppelin. That's what they did live. That's what they would do if they were still playing together. So when Brian takes his drum solo, which can last 15 or 20 minutes, by the end of it, he's playing with his fists on the drums and on the timpani. And people are just like, their jaws are like, oh my God, they've never seen anything like that. But that's exactly how Bonham played. And so, Brian is such a aficionado of John Bonham, and has studied his style, the way he plays. And you have to have a certain energy and spirit and technique to play a Bonham style. You have to hit hard. And Brian really does that so well. So it's an awesome thing. But at the same time, it was really fun working with Brian on the new record, A Song of Hope, because we really wrote out a lot of the drum parts and a lot of the sections, and we tried to make it as dynamic as possible. So, we have areas where we kind of go into a Zeppelin feel on this record a little bit. The last record, a lot more. We did more of a Zeppelin sound. On this one, I kind of stylistically, well, everybody in LA and the label people and the management people were wanting that 80s sound. everybody was saying we can't get enough 80s. Everybody wants 80s rock, that classic rock sound. So what I did is, I wrote a Queen song. Very, very, very Queen-like. I wrote, I'm a Kansas fan, so I threw in kind of a Kansas thing, right? Yeah, and I don't know if you've heard it yet, but A Song of Hope, which is on YouTube. And by the way, please, everybody go to YouTube and subscribe and listen to A Song of Hope. A Song of Hope has been, I'm really proud of it because as a songwriter, you want to reach people. You want to touch them emotionally in some way, right? Trigger their feelings. And that song I wrote as a real stress relief song for people during COVID. And it talks about how we all need to support each other and help each other out to get through this. So it's a very inspiring song, and it has been helping people around the world. I get a lot of comments on YouTube from people saying, I lost my father, and this song, I listen to it every day, and it really gives me strength and hope and inspiration that life's going to get better and I can make it through this. So yeah, very, very happy with the way that song turned out. But also
it's a beautiful song.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Very proud of that song. Our first release off the record, which is on Spotify now, is called In My Lovin' Arms. And, it's kind of hard to put that one in a niche because it has that Renaissance rock orchestra sound to it, which is a little bit Trans-Siberian Orchestra. We have strings. We use people from the Seattle Symphony to do strings. A guy by the name of Philip Peterson did some amazing cello work on it, and kind of I wrote the arrangements, and it was recorded by my friend Marino KRA up there in Seattle from Cinema Sonic. And so it was really cool to bring those people in because I'm a Seattle guy. So as a matter of fact, during the last summer, I went up to Seattle to help my mom and dad move out of our forever home and into a care facility. And while I was up there, I got to see a lot of my Seattle friends and went to the Paramount Theater and, talked with my buddies there that run the Paramounts. And of course, we're hoping to get Renaissance Rock Orchestra there at some point. But during that time period, I was talking to a lot of string players up there, people from the Seattle Symphony, from other string groups. And so I was really excited that we got that together and made that connection. And they were also excited to play this material too, to play, hard rock, but with complex string arrangements. And yeah, so on In My Lovin' Arms, we have some really nice string parts that they did, and they played throughout the record on most of the songs. But In My Lovin' Arms it's hard to kind of put it in a niche as to what it sounds like, which is fine. I've heard people compare it to Van Halen. I've heard people compare it to Dream Theater. But I don't mind those comparisons because that's all great music, right? So yeah, just try to write.
I mean, when you guys play together,
Yeah.
there's so many different elements.
Yes.
Like you said, like you mentioned, Kansas is one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
You've got some Journey touches in there. You've got
True.
the strings in there.
Yeah.
If people haven't seen you perform live, this is going to be a great opportunity in Vegas once you start playing out. Is there any possibility of a full tour?
Well, I don't think that's probably the route we're going to go to immediately. Now, my thoughts on that, a couple things. First of all, tours are so expensive, and it's so difficult to get support money from labels and touring companies anymore. So it's really difficult to do that with an unbranded band, right? To do a full major tour with an unbranded band, particularly with the kind of production that this show needs. It really needs to be that gigantic Trans-Siberian Orchestra type of show. Right. I think of it as Trans-Siberian Orchestra with rock stars. Take out the Christmas, put in the rock stars, you have Renaissance Rock Orchestra.
Right, because I think that's where you were talking about residency. Because I know that you have the 2 dates in Vamped in July.
Right.
And is there a possibility that residency is going to be at Vamped?
No, I don't think so. BAMT
No?
is really not a residency type room. They
Okay.
like to bring in lots of different types of acts
Yeah.
and really have, you know, a different kind of show, a different band every weekend, every Friday and Saturday. So I don't see BAMT as being a good residency room, although of course I'd love to do it. It's my favorite room in Vegas. You know, great sound, great lights, great crowd. It's like being, when I'm at BAMT, it's like being at home. You know, it's just like
Yeah.
being with family. I've been playing there for over a decade now. So yeah, I do hope that we do some shows there. And I've been discussing that with them. And I look forward to doing some shows there for sure. But the idea with the residency here in Vegas, of course, is that we keep our costs down. Our production is set up. It's in a room, sound and lights. So we really can do a full-on production and not have to move it every night or every week. And, you know, you're talking trucks, so many expenses when you're talking
Right.
a major tour. But another thing that I really would like to do that I foresee happening is getting Renaissance Rock Orchestra in a lot of the European festivals, because the people over there really, really love rock, and they love metal. They love symphonic metal. They really get what we're about. And that great way to brand the band, right? To get into one of those major festivals or several. And the expenses are not so great then, because of course you have your lights and sound set up for all the festivals. So that keeps our costs low. And while we're over there, we do several of them. So we've been talking with some touring companies about getting set up to do that. But of course, at this point, that's not going to happen this year. So we're shooting for next year. But once again, it all comes down to where we end up landing on a residency in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So if we do get the residency, you know, we're going to be locked in. We'll be here, and people from around the world come to Las Vegas.
Yes.
And it's another great way to brand the band, you know, to start developing a really good following. People will know we're here. We'll be able to advertise all of our guest star artists that are coming in. You know, if we have Bumblefoot from Guns N' Roses come in for a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, or George Lynch, or maybe Joel Hoekstra from Whitesnake and Trans-Siberian, or right on drums, a lot of different choices in vocalists, Robin McCall, certainly. But so we'll be able to advertise and know everybody's touring schedules and get it set up when they are available. And people around the world that are fans of that particular artist will say, oh, I'm going in September. Simon Wright's going to be on the drums. That's who I want to see. This, yeah. So everybody has their favorites, and they'll be able to come see whichever guest star artist we have it scheduled far in advance. So that's the plan. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think with the residency, there's so many hotels here that
Yeah.
you guys would totally rock it. And
Yeah.
with everything opening up, I mean,
Yeah.
rock and roll. Let's have this conversation really quick. Rock and roll is making a comeback,
Yeah. I
and
absolutely agree.
Vegas is the hub
Yeah.
for this trend right now.
Absolutely right. It is. I agree entirely. I love that about being here. And you know, the entire time I've been in Vegas, it's been the perfect spot for me to be, because of all the shows I've done with the Rock Gods Hall of Fame and Raiding the Rock Vault. And, you know, it goes on and on. The Bonzo Bashes, playing with the Moby Dicks, with a lot of different formations of that band over the last decade. It's really put me in a perfect position to work with a lot of different artists that I've been able to get on my records. And they've all been very excited to be a part of a new project. And that's another thing that I want to talk about as long as we're talking about this new revival of rock. Even the name itself, and where I came up with the Renaissance Rock Orchestra, is a renaissance, a revival of rock music is what the idea is about. So I think it's really important that we have something like Renaissance Rock Orchestra here in Vegas, which is an original act. We have a lot of great original acts here and great original rock bands, but nothing that kind of encompasses that classic rock sound, that symphonic rock sound, that symphonic metal sound, something big enough to be on a stage in a casino in Vegas. That is a Vegas local brand, you know, that is Vegas. So that's what it's all about for me. And I'm very proud to present the city and with the artists that I have, you know, playing this music and playing with the bands. It's just, I've been very, very blessed with that. They're all just the best performers that there are out there in the world for rock artists. And that will continue to grow. As a matter of fact, in a lot of these Bonzo Bash shows and Rock Gods Hall of Fame shows, et cetera, et cetera. I haven't had a chance to get all those artists on my records yet. There's so many of them. I mean, the list just goes on and on. Bloss would be one. I was thinking, there's so many of them. I need to make a list. Chris Slade from ACDC.
Oh, yeah.
I got to get Chris on some tracks. Really look forward to that. And as a matter of fact, playing with Jason and Janaea Ebbs and their original band Ecotonic, and doing a lot of shows with them when we did the Rock Gods Hall of Fame shows. It was kind of a bucket list moment. I've had so many of those here in Las Vegas, playing amazing things with amazing players, but to play Blinded by the Light with Chris Slade, the drummer from AC/DC, who was the drummer with Manfred Mann on that track. When I was coming up, it was such a huge hit. To play that, I've probably played that song with Chris at least a half a dozen times, and every time it's just like, wow, I can't believe this is happening. Which is the same way I felt 3 weeks ago down in Phoenix at Coopstock, playing keyboards
I
for Asia.
I wanted to go to that show, Greg.
Oh, that was so great.
I wanted to go to that show.
It was so great. Great. It was the first show I've done, since COVID. And what a great show to do. The Asia music has been really, really exciting for me to play. It's in my DNA. It's in my blood. It's the kind of keyboard player that I am. And as I was learning the songs and programming all the sounds, which was really very difficult, time consuming to try to create that exact sound that's on the record, which is what I try to do when I do something like that. But listening to the songs and learning them and playing them, it's just like, they bring back the sense of that time period, like all music does, but it's very positive, happy music. It just feels really inspiring to play, and to play with Lou Gramm from Foreigner. Oh my God. Right.
I was going to ask you about that.
Oh, wow. That was such a rush to be on stage with Lou. In my life, I've been blessed to have moments where I'm on stage playing with brilliant artists. And I think to myself at that moment, I'm going to remember this till the day I die. I'm going to remember this moment because it's so sweet. It's just so succulent to be on stage playing that music and have it be so perfect. And playing I Want to Know What Love Is with Lou was like that. 80 million records sold. And I'm just watching him sing and playing the song, just like going, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this with Lou Gramm. Such a huge classic hit. So yeah, fun stuff. That was a great show. It was a lot of fun. It was great to see a lot of the guys that I hadn't seen for a long time. Brent Fitz was drumming with Alice, and Brent and I, when I first moved to Vegas, we're in several bands together, Beggars and Thieves, and the Hollywood All-Stars, the Vegas All-Stars, a lot of different shows like that. So it was great to see Brent. He's been so busy with Slash, over a lot of the last decade that I haven't seen a lot of him. But Brent played on my very first record on a very Trans-Siberian piece called Alexander's Symphony. And doesn't have any vocals. It's one of those epic symphonic rock Trans-Siberian Orchestra pieces. And oh my gosh, the way Brent played on that track is really remarkable. Yeah, go to YouTube and find Alexander's Symphony and check that out. It's a really great track. We haven't done that one live yet, and I'm really looking forward to doing it because it's just, it has that Trans-Siberian thing, but it also has a little bit of that ELO sound to it, right? A little bit of electric. That. Yeah, a little bit of electric light orchestra to it. And I'm hoping, of course, that Brent's going to end up being one of our guest star artists once we get our residency, and I want to get him on some more tracks. But it was awesome to see him and to watch him play. And it was fun being with him on stage because I'm kind of known for, I'm such an exuberant performer when I play. And one of the things that I do with it, and I got it from Steve Walsh from Kansas. I used to love the way that he was always like kicking and doing all these crazy things while he was playing keyboard. So I started doing that years and years ago. And, I haven't done it a lot for the last 4 or 5 years. You know, in a lot of the shows that I'm in, I try to kind of keep that down. I'm not trying to upstage anybody. You know, it's just trying to settle in and just play the music. And it doesn't seem to fit with the Zeppelin show so much, so I don't do it with that show very often. But Brent loves the kick, and it was so funny because he was off to the side of the stage, and he was looking around. He wanted to make sure nobody was listening. He comes up to me, he says, "Greg, you got to do the kick." I'm going, "Brent, I haven't done the kick in 4 or 5 years. I can't do the kick. It's my first show with Asia. I'm just going to try to settle down here and just play my parts." He says, he comes back about 3 minutes later, whispers in my ear, "You got to do the kick, man." And I'm thinking to myself, wow, well, Brent obviously loves the kick. Brent's a real rock star. If Brent thinks the kick is that cool, maybe I should do the kick. So, of course, I do the kick. Couldn't help it. And it was fun. It was such a fun show to see everybody. And Jeff Tortora did an amazing job on drums for Asia and for Lou Graham and doing all the foreigner songs. It was a blast. Playing with John Payne. That was a really, really fun show. Carolyn, her and I, she was in my first band when I moved to Vegas with my bass player and best friend, Mikey Bones, who passed away a few years back, Michael Gerbino. And we had a band called Babylon.
I remember that band.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I think we only did 3 or 4 shows, and things sort of changed. We lost our guitar player. Rod Miller ended up joining Phoenix, and he and I are both from Seattle, so we've been friends for years, and we were in a lot of Seattle bands together. And when Rod joined Phoenix, I kind of lost the heart to go on with Babylon. And it was just during that time period also I was starting to envision, you know, having my own show, the Renaissance Rock Orchestra. And so I was starting to write all that material. So I kind of let Babylon go by the way, but it's too bad that I did. Carolyn definitely wanted to keep doing it. She was the lead vocalist for it. She's just so amazing. Love Carolyn.
How was it? Let's talk a little bit about that concert in Phoenix.
Yeah.
How was it? Because you haven't played, right, since the pandemic when you were in
No,
Phoenix.
it was the first show.
How was that feeling, Greg, when you first started hitting the notes? I mean,
well,
I want to hear all about what you were feeling at that particular time.
It was so exciting. It was so exciting. I mean, I love to perform, and the crowd, everything about that show and that concert was brilliant. The stage crew, the sound crew, lights, the stage itself. Alice was incredible and amazing. I had never met Alice before, and it was so nice to sit and chat with him and his wife. And we talked a little bit about A Song of Hope because they kind of have a bit of a ministry. They consider what they do to with a lot of teens and people, kids growing and getting into the rock field and things like that, developing all their skills. But yeah, so the audience was so appreciative and just starving for live entertainment and live music, which is one of the reasons Brent said, you got to do the kick. These people haven't seen any entertainment in a year. You got to give it to them, Greg. So, but yeah, it was so thrilling. And, you know, it was very exciting for me to be playing with Asia featuring John Payne and to be playing that music. And I just love it. And so it was very, very thrilling. Very thrilling. Yeah. Playing that first note of Only Time Will Tell was the first song we did. It starts with the whole synth thing. And wow, yeah, it was tremendous. And the crowd, like I say, there was probably about 1,000 people there, I'm thinking. And they were limited to capacity. It was outdoors on a golf course. It was just a beautiful evening in Phoenix, the sun setting. It wasn't too hot. It was just so comfortable. The sound was great. The lights were great. The musicians that I was playing with for Asia and for Lou Graham, they're all so brilliant. And just oh God, to play with a band again, to play with great musicians, to play that music, everything about it was absolutely magical. It's another thing that I'll never forget that night after such a long drought of not playing and not doing any shows and starving, just going, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay in
Right.
Vegas. I mean, there was times I considered moving out of Vegas, and there's people that did that. I'm like going, I don't know how I'm going to survive. How am I going to make it?
You're not
But
alone.
yeah, yeah. Well, I have a lot of great investors and supporters for Renaissance Rock Orchestra, and they really got me through. I won't name all the names, but yes, I've been very blessed. It kind of surprises a lot of my artists in Renaissance Rock Orchestra, the kind of support financially that I have been able to find, to keep putting on shows and residencies and to do the records and to pay all these artists. It's not inexpensive to have artists like this on your record.
No.
They certainly deserve more than I'm probably giving them, but it's not inexpensive, and I try to make sure that they get what they deserve, because they've spent a lifetime putting themselves in this position and developing their craft, and I'm very blessed to have them. But so yes, I made it through it. It looks like things are going to be all right. The shows are coming back. It's interesting, the changes and things that are happening. We've been talking about the residency in Las Vegas, and I'm going to give some kind of bad news right now, and I hate to do that. I always try to be positive. We have so many positive things going on with the record labels that are interested in the response from the new record. But so we've been negotiating with a couple different places for a residency for probably the last 4 or 5 months. And we were really close to tying one down. And I was so excited about it. I expected that we were probably going to do that within the next week or two, and that we might be playing by mid-July, And as you probably know, Caesars just made this announcement like 2 days ago that they cut I don't know how many acts, 11 acts, maybe could be more. And all these acts that thought that they were going to be coming back to the same rooms they were in, they were all of a sudden scrambling, going, we don't have a show anymore. We don't have a room. We don't have a venue. And of course, a lot of these acts have been playing Vegas. They're well-branded acts that have been playing here 5 years, 10 years. Some of them are musical shows. Some of them are hypnotists, magicians, lots of things like that. But they're all branded, and people know them around the world that come to Vegas to see them and have for a decade. So in the scramble, we lost our slot for the residency that we thought we were going to have, that we've been working on for months and months and months. So that is a little depressing to have to announce that, because I thought we were getting so close. But there's other rooms available, and we're going to work to find different situations. As a matter of fact, one of the people we were working with, it sounds like they are going to procure a couple new venues themselves. So, and they love RRO and they want to have RRO. And I understand why they would, and I can't really disclose who it is that they put in our slot yet, but I understand why they would want to do that. They want to have acts now and bring them in right away. And it's a show that's been here for years. So I get it. But the good news is that, they're going to procure some more venues, some more rooms. And I'm pretty sure that we're probably going to be able to get one of those
Oh
spots.
yeah. I mean,
We're
because
still working at it.
I can
Yep.
see you in a couple different venues.
Yeah. What ideas do you have? Which rooms do you like?
Well, I thought of the Golden Nugget, because they've got a great showroom there.
Absolutely.
And I know a lot of bands from the 80s have played there. Night Ranger, Lita
Absolutely.
Ford has played there.
Yeah.
So
Lou Graham,
that would,
I think Lou Graham played there within the
Yeah.
last few years too. Yeah.
yeah.
Everybody's been playing there. You're right. But once again, that room there for years and years had Legends, right? Where they had, they had the Garth Brooks. They had, everybody.
That show was moved around a lot too, though.
It did, true, but it was there
Yeah.
as a residency for years. But after that, after Legends left the Golden Nugget, they kind of been bringing a lot of different acts, like you're talking about. I saw
Yeah.
Lita there. I saw Tommy James and the Shondells. By the way, my bass player, Greg Smith, with Alice Cooper, Ted Nugent, but he also plays for Tommy James and Shondells too.
Oh, that's
So
cool. I like
I saw
it.
them there. Yeah, I've been talking, and approaching through several of my contacts at the Golden Nugget for probably the last year or more. But once again, a lot of those kind of rooms, they want a branded act that, that people know.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a Tommy James and Shondells. I mean, how long they've been around, everybody knows. Yeah. So Lita Ford, the same kind of thing. So to them, it's just like, all right, well, who is Renaissance Rock Orchestra?
Right.
Well, I have to get them in a different mentality.
Yeah.
Have to get them to understand that this is not just a rock concert, that it's a symphonic production, and that I'm not bringing in just Tommy James or just Lita Ford. I'm bringing in a drummer from AC/DC. I'm bringing in a guitar player from Guns N' Roses.
Right.
I'm bringing in a vocalist from Michael Schenker. So you really have a lot more to work with marketing wise. You're really creating this rock star show. Yeah, that has just a lot of different talent. So yeah, they just don't quite get it yet, and I understand. Yeah,
yeah. There's so many ideas I have for you, but anyway, but yeah, I really think that Vegas as a whole has so many musicians moving here. I mean, we know that Gene Simmons just moved here.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So Tommy Thayer is here.
We have everybody except Paul Stanley, really, right?
Right. I mean, all those musicians from California are moving to Vegas because of the taxes. So
they've been doing it for a decade. That's why there's been so much talent here for me to work with and to bring into Renaissance Rock Orchestra. Just it's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. So it just continues to grow this whole community.
Yeah.
This whole rock community in Las Vegas. It's very exciting. Very, very. It's a very exciting period of time to be in right now, because we don't know how things are going, what's going to happen, but we know that Vegas is the entertainment capital of the world. It's going to stay that. We know we have so much rock star talent here. It's just unbelievable. And so, it's time for some of us to step up, and it's time for, the rest of the Vegas community to say, hey, we want this to happen. We want, like the Renaissance Rock Orchestra, to represent Las Vegas. We want to have this big symphonic rock show here that is like the ultimate tribute act that there could ever be, because besides doing all of our own originals, which are Trans-Siberian and that have that whole classic rock feel, the new album really doesn't have a lot of that Trans-Siberian Orchestra feel. It's very classic 80s rock, AOR kind of stuff. But at the same time, this show, when we do it, we have to make it something that's going to be big and epic. It can't, because we are an unbranded band, an unbranded show. We're going to do epic rock songs with strings, Kashmir, Aerosmith. We're going to do some of the biggest rock anthems that have ever been done with rock stars, our own way, with these strings and string arrangements. So it's going to be that epic Las Vegas show with the production and with the orchestra. And, we really haven't done that in Las Vegas. We really haven't had a show with a symphony, with an orchestra.
Right.
Don't you think don't you think we deserve that?
Yes.
Something so classy, something so big. I mean, hey, go big or go home. It is Las Vegas, right?
Exactly.
It is Las Vegas.
Well, here, I want to pick your brain for a minute before I let you go. Tell me, Greg, what was your first concert that you ever went to?
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's been a while. My very, and I'm a keyboard player. So I ended up being an Emerson, Lake and Palmer fan, and Yes fan, and Jethro Tull fan. So I went to a lot of those shows. But my very first concert was Chicago. Chicago.
Nice.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm from Chicago.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah. Those horns and the horn arrangements, there was nothing like that sound at that time. And, I've been taking some trips back and forth to Seattle, taking care of my parents. And I've been driving, and the drive's just been so amazing because, I get to I'm by myself. I'm thinking about the show, thinking about writing the song and listening to music, something I never have time to do because I'm always on the phone with agents, with management companies. I'm always recording my new track. I'm, mastering, mixing, doing all these things. So to have that much time to just listen to my favorite music in Chicago is one of the things that I revisited while I was traveling. It was just like, wow. I was actually driving through Snoqualmie Pass through the mountains in the snow and seeing all the snowy mountains and
That's
the
gonna be
trees,
great. Yeah.
listening to Chicago, which, of course, and that's my hometown. So it was all just kind of coming back
It's
in
my
a rush.
hometown too. I'm from
Seattle.
Chicago.
Oh, yeah, Chicago. I'm a Seattle boy. But
Okay,
when I was growing up in Seattle, that was one of the first things that I was really into was the Chicago music. And, they were really, I don't know if I could really say progressive rock, but in a way they were.
Yeah.
They really stretched out, the guitars, long guitar solos. It was, it had that real natural roots feel to it too. But yeah, with those brilliant chordal arrangements.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, did I lose you? Are we losing you?
No. I'm still here. Let's go ahead and wrap it up, Greg. Hi, Jennifer.
Yep.
How are you? I'll be
Good,
with
how
you
are
in just
you?
a second, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Greg, it's been great talking to you.
I really enjoyed it too. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm going to definitely come and see your show in July. Advance.
Awesome. That sounds good. Good. I'll see you there. Yeah.
And we'll keep in touch.
Let's do this again, and we'll bring some of the other guys in. We'll bring in Mark and Brian and Greg.
Yes,
and
I want to thank Christina Avila, your promoter.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
She is.
Absolutely.
I just want to say she's amazing. She's
She
been
is
kind of
unbelievable.
connecting with me,
Yeah.
and she's great.
She really.
And
You have
does
no
a great
idea.
job for you.
Yeah, she really does. We're in contact almost every day. We have to because she's doing such a great job of making sure that people around the world are finding out about Renaissance Rock Orchestra and about the music. So yes, Christina, thank you so much. We love you. You're doing a brilliant job. I can never tell you how thankful I am.
Right.
So, yeah,
and I will definitely keep in touch, Greg. So I definitely want you on for a follow-up show on the rocks. Okay.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Carol. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks, Greg. And I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
All right. You too.
I made it.
Yay.
What's going on, man? Nice to meet you and see you.
Hi.
Sorry I couldn't make it.
Well, I'm going to let you guys do your thing. Carol, play some music on one of your shows. Play some Renaissance Rock Orchestra music, will you? She's still with us?
Yeah, Greg. We actually have we don't really play the music on our show, but definitely the viewers definitely need to check out YouTube.
Yeah,
yes. You guys have some great videos and stuff on there.
Please, subscribe and listen to it. Yeah.
Yes. And Spotify.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right. Well, I had a lot of fun. It was great to meet you.
It was great to meet you too, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care.
All right, Carol, get out. Hi, Jennifer. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Finally got to meet.
Trying to get off here, guys.
Nice to meet you.
I'm trying to leave. I'm so bad.
California. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
All right. I'm here. So what's going on?
Not much. How are you?
Good. I just realized I'm surrounded by Chicagoans.
Yes, you are.
Hi.
Okay. Deep dish or New York style?
Deep dish, absolutely.
Ah, boo!
Yeah, Jennifer, yeah.
And that was it for Ignescent. We're out of here. How are you guys making out? Is this
Good, how are you
everybody
doing?
that's coming, or you got anybody else coming?
Can you guys
No, just
can
me
you
and
guys
Ian.
see and hear me?
That's all right. Cool.
Yeah, I can see you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Awesome.
Perfect. I love that clock. It's like a newsroom.
It is.
Yeah, it is cool. I like it.
Thank you.
You know, the Channel 9 News.
Breaking.
Breaking news.
How did I forgot? I think what was it last year when the was it Exodus came out? Is that the song I'm thinking about?
Yeah, in
Yes.
October, Exodus came out in the music video. Mhm.
Yeah.
I tripped over you guys. I can't remember what happened yesterday. So I don't know if the music was sent to me or I found you just through YouTube or whatever. But I mean, I loved it, and I was telling Carol, you guys are a little different. Your music carries more of a like a positive message along.
Yeah,
That's what we were
Absolutely.
aiming for.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Now, I
That's-
wanted to ask you, because this is something, because I see you play with a lot of bands, and my favorite band, let's say from that side, is Striper.
Ooh, I love
Mhm.
Striper. They're one of my favorites and like a big inspiration for me in our
That's
band.
what I kind of figured. Now, I know I have a little mutual connection to Striper through a young girl that I promote, and with Michael Sweet. But Michael doesn't like to call his band a Christian rock band.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That's something I never, obviously you immediately jump to that because, I guess, that's what you would, because everything, carries a label. But
Right.
what do you see? I'm not into big categorizations or labels, but
Yeah.
when you, let's say, market and promote yourself,
Uh-huh.
other than rock and roll metal, do you add anything else to it? I mean, because I see you have like a brief description of kind of what you are as hints, but not so much like slathering a label all over yourselves.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, we definitely say hard rock, metal, but I would consider us a Christian rock band. I'm not going to be shy about it. And,
Right. And that-
it
I
doesn't bother
don't,
me.
I don't see what the problem, again, everybody's different, but
Right.
what drives me nuts is, well, let's introduce the band first, but I'll get into the mindset of people that drives me crazy about different bands. And I want to ask you if you guys have ever come up against this.
Okay.
First, Jennifer, you're the lead singer and you're the founder of the band, correct?
Mhm. Right.
2008, I think you put the band together or started this.
Right. Mhm.
Ian, I don't know what's the chronology of the structure of the band and the members that it has right now.
So right now it's it's obviously Jen, the founder of Ignescent, like you said, been with the band since 2008.
Mhm.
And I'm going into my, I want to say, second year in the band. And honestly, and we have Jose, who's been in the band for a year. And I've just seen like different sounds, like a lot of people bring in, especially like new lineups here and there. But with this new lineup, I would say this is almost to us like a new era, like a new sound for us, like something that we're not only like changing up our sound and changing up like how we play and our styles and our message, our positive message that we're trying to bring in, but it's also like, yeah, like I said, it's a new era with like different, with obviously with Jose bringing in his 8-string guitar, because we're in a lower tuning than how Ignescent was before, where it was just like rock and a little bit of some like metal here and there, going into the metal genre, and now it's going into like gent, progressive metal, progressive rock type thing. So I've seen a lot of changes. So this is for us a new beginning and a new era for Ignescent, where it's a lot more on the darker vibes, but we also have a message as well.
I was going to ask you, has that always been the, let's say the focus, I shouldn't say the focus, but the the mission and message behind the band since the beginning, Jen?
Yeah, it definitely has. Like I created the band specifically for the purpose to encourage people and to just let them know that God loves them and that we love them too, because you know there's so much negativity out there and there's so much hardship. And obviously, especially this year, it's just so crazy with what has happened with COVID and everything. But even before that, I want to be a band that I guess parents can feel safe that to bring their, you know, teens or their kids and know that we're going to spread that positive message. And we're kind of, I guess, I know we're a rock band, but I don't know how else to say it, but you know, to be a safe band for them to listen to and an encouraging band but for all ages, honestly. I mean, we all go through struggles. I've gone through depression, anxiety. I know Ian has too. We've all gone through our struggles and different things that we've gone through. And I want to just be a light and an encouragement to others that, you know what, no matter what you're going through, that God loves you and just keep going and don't give up. And that's just been the message always on my heart to share with others, that you're not alone. And yet you're not alone. So.
Well, it's something I've battled a lot with people, even all the way back to 1986.
Okay.
When I first heard Calling on You, TV, and I'll never forget it. And it's another one of those pivotal moments that led me to doing what I'm doing today in a very direct sense. Religion, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
And I don't force nor pull back or, I believe whatever it is that you are, I accept you for who you are and whatever.
Yeah.
And I was raised Catholic.
Okay.
He's on me all the time.
Same with me. Same with me.
I was too, actually.
Were you? But I don't know. I always ask. I'm not Catholic. That's like, the church. Yeah, okay. I'm like kind of in the middle. I'm a limbo Catholic. But
we've all been there.
Yeah, I have questions as to how they run the organization. That doesn't change faith, and people that believe, don't believe, to me, you're all the same. We're rock and roll.
Yeah.
I've run into so many times, and I see Michael go through this now too. He's been my only, and now meeting you guys, you're the second, let's say, band or artists who have that same inspiration and influence and mission behind your music. There can be, I've played Striper, let's say, for friends, and they're like, "Oh my, wow, who are these guys? Awesome!" And I said, "Yeah, they're Striper, whatever." Really listen, and then once they figure out what's going on, they run away.
Oh, interesting, really.
And I'm like, what changed? And even people that say are Christian or Catholic, or
Yeah.
And then I get into the argument, and I'm not, I'm no perfect Catholic. Okay. I am what I am. But why is it you won't now, because of the message and the lyrics with this song that you loved a minute ago?
Yeah.
You may, let's say, believe, you run, but then you listen to a song that's derogatory, beratement, I won't say which particular, but let's say, negative.
Right.
And that has never made sense to me. And have you ever come up against that? That's what I wanted to ask you guys. Have you ever had people questioning your intentions? Or
sometimes, honestly, it's mainly been encouraging. I've had a lot of things said to us, or to me personally, at concerts, just saying, thank you for your positive message. Thank you for the encouragement. I've had a lot of positive things, but yeah, I mean, as well, we've had a few. Honestly, it hasn't been a lot. There's been a few people that have been turned off by it, but for whatever reason, and that's their choice. I'm not going to judge them. And, maybe they had a bad experience in their past, who knows what the reason is, but, it's whatever whatever their choice is. And I totally respect that and understand that. But, at the same time, I can't be who I'm not. I am who I am, and I am a Christian, and, so I'm not going to worry about what people think or about what people say. And I'm just gonna, try to just be as loving and as encouraging as possible. And I think sometimes maybe people think that Christians are judgmental and all that sort of thing. So I just, I don't want,
When in
we're not
fact, the ones
supposed to be,
being
yeah, and I'm not perfect. I am nothing. I want to be clear. I'm nothing. I'm so imperfect. Ian knows, he knows me. Well, none of us are perfect, but so I just want to be clear about that. Just because I love God and I'm a Christian doesn't mean I think I'm perfect or anything like that. Because I'm totally not. You know what I mean? I literally, I am nothing, and I'm just a human being. But I do want to, as an imperfect person, want to be that person just to encourage people and just be like, God does love you, because he's done so much in my life. Like, he's done miracles, literal miracles. It's crazy. And I just want people to know that and to see that and to experience what I've experienced. It's just a passion of mine. And and there's just so many different stories like I have. You can watch on YouTube. I went through a custody battle, and God did like a huge miracle through that, like against all odds. Like the lawyer was against me, my own lawyer. The GAL recommended that my daughter live with my ex-husband. And it was just all these things. I should have lost my daughter. And there's a bunch of lies spread about me, but I didn't. And there is just a huge miracle that happened. And time again, God has like rescued me. And over, he never lets me go. And he constantly is rescuing me and taking care of me. And I just want others to know that he sees exactly what you're going through, and he like loves you. He thinks you're precious, you're beautiful, and he is in love with you. And so that's just what it's on my heart to tell people.
The thing I love that I respect most about, I call this rock and roll.
Mhm.
I'm saying we always talk about music
Mhm.
being powerful, especially in this last year.
Yeah.
Rock and roll being the soundtrack to our lives.
Yeah.
But then you add in, I don't say this is a style of music, I call this rock and roll with
Yeah.
lyrics that are not about the typical, it's all been done, and it's got a different message. And for people going through things that may
Mhm.
need a little extra bump that don't already have that, here's music you love with the message you need. That's what I think is cool. And that's why I fell originally. I had no idea what a Christian rock band was back in '86 when I saw Striper for the first time. And I actually, I said this once, right? I said it to him on Facebook. I said, "Who's this girl singing?" And it was Michael Sweet. But I respect them so much because it led me not to talking to you guys, because indirectly he found the girl that I promote, and I never would have met her and her family, which led me to starting Keep Rock Alive, which led me to this. Talk about what I call doors opening and doors closing.
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
always, I don't get it. I always try to see. I always worry about, I say, I don't want people to think that I'm here standing for any one situation or another. I try to always write down the middle. We're all the same, but there are certain things. And Carol and I, the last 2 days, have been talking about very similar things about accepting people for who they are,
Mhm.
our mistakes. And I think I just literally said this to her a couple hours ago. And I told her, I said, in case I don't make it, get up to speed with you guys. You're going to love them. And I haven't even met you. I knew it already. But now, when you started the band, was this the reason? Or was this, let me ask you, let's say your musical influence or the things that you've gone through your life, was this a product of what was going on, or is it just something, a passion? And, you know, what was the inception? And what the reason for the creation, the beginning of the band?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I had, I guess it's multiple things. I had gone through a divorce, and I had a little girl, and basically he left me. And so I was heartbroken. And at the same time, I just love music. I've always wanted to like start a band. Um, and yeah, I just, I don't know, I guess it was just on my heart to create really cool music that people could relate to, but also encourage them, you know, with what they're going through, because I've been through a lot, and I know many people have been through a lot. And so, yeah, I just wanted to like combine those two. I wanted to create really, really cool music, and just kind of have fun with that, and in like a harder ed, because I've always liked rock, and I've always liked Flyleaf, Skillet, those types of bands. So they were an inspiration for me to do this too. And I saw them doing this kind of thing, and I'm like, well, if they can do that, then I can do that. So let me try this out and see what happens. And so that's kind of why.
I know, and when I was going through your bio originally, you've earned yourselves a reputation that you've opened for all these bands too along the way. Just about all the bands that have influenced you and you love, correct?
Yeah, it's been incredible, the doors that have opened for us. And yeah, we opened for Flyleaf at Subterranean in Chicago. 2 years ago, we opened for Fight the Fury, which is John Cooper of Skillet's other band. So we played like 2 nights in a row with them, and it was so cool to meet him, because he is like John Cooper of Skillet. He's the sweetest guy in the world. I don't know if you met him, but he's the nicest guy. He actually went up to me and at the end and said goodbye, gave me a hug, gave the other band members a hug, and he was just like so down to earth. And I just love that, because he's so, you know, he's so famous, he's so well known. And to see that he's so down to earth and just a cool guy was really cool. And then we actually opened for Striper, which was really amazing. And then just last Saturday, we played with Adelita's Way, and we opened for them. So yeah, that was really cool. Wasn't that, Ian? That was like an awesome experience.
That was, yeah, definitely. Especially growing up, listening to Adelita's Way when they did Legacy from WWE with Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase, when they did their theme song. That was, to me, I was just like, I gotta listen to this band. And so that's how I got into Adelita's Way. I mean, totally different from, you know, like what Jen says, like without like the Christian band, like with all the Christian bands, this one is like a different like crowd in a different direction. But, you know, we bring in newer fans who are just like, wow, really like this band for an opener, because we opened and we were the first band up, and we get a lot of reactions like, for a first band, they really kicked ass out there.
Following them for a while. One of the earliest bands I think that I posted on Keep Rock Alive, when I have no idea what I'm doing now, but I really had no idea what I was doing back then. But I loved them because I was starting to look for new bands, and they were one of the, let's say, the first 10%. That discovering, like you said, these sounds that I didn't know were still, you know, coming out. I was that old classic rock guy. But
there was also this band that, there was also this one band that supported them as well, Moon Fever, which is like more of like LA 80s 90s vibes, and I really enjoyed them as well. So
yeah,
you get a taste of a lot of different music styles, but it's pretty cool to see it live.
That's one thing about anyway, we talk about live music, especially the loss of it, you know, until just recently.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to ask also, now you started playing, so are things gearing back up locally for you, or where was this last gig with that you opened what was it, you said Adelita's Way?
Yeah, it was at Afterlife, which used to be Brower House in Lombard, Illinois. So yeah, things are starting to open up again, thankfully. So yeah, a lot more shows coming up. So we're very, very excited about that. And we have some fests we'll be doing too this summer. We're going to be playing at Rock Fest in Cadet, Wisconsin. And then we'll be playing at Life Fest in Wisconsin and Life Fest in Nashville, Tennessee. And then yeah, locally, like in the Chicago area, things are opening up now too. So.
And let me let Carol take over, because Carol's from, like I said, from your neck of the woods. So these are all places that she's probably more familiar with. I'm sure she has some questions. So
Yeah, I noticed, Jennifer, on your website that you guys are playing the Forge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that area.
Are you?
It's great. That's a great venue to play.
It is. I love it. That's literally one of my favorite places to play. And we opened actually for Adeline's Way there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Gemini, I think it was Gemini Syndrome we opened for, and Stitched Apart too. So we played there a few times. But yeah, it's one of my favorite places.
Yeah, because I was looking on your schedule in Barrington, the place in Barrington there. I've been there too.
Oh, Penny Road? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, Penny Road.
Yes,
Yes, that place is a classic rock hangout.
That is it's a really cool place, especially if it's like there's the stage that's up on the first floor, and then in the basement
Right.
you get the second stage. It's just like either way.
Yeah, it's so cool. That Barrington area is a rock area.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's so many bands now, I think, coming out of the Chicago area that are just really amazing, like you guys. And you're playing some great places out. I kind of missed that. I missed the Chicago rock vibe.
Well, it misses you, definitely.
I know it does. I'm sure Mike's like, yeah.
Yeah,
I miss the deep dish pizza. I know that.
But yeah, a lot of the Chicago musicians are definitely, like, a lot of Chicago bands lately have been booming, especially like we played at the Back Bar in Janesville, Wisconsin.
I've been there too.
And majority of all the opening bands were from Chicago. Go figure.
Yeah. I mean, it's great that stuff's opening up, because I think they're at 100%, right, Jennifer? The venues that you guys are playing, or?
I think they're at 100% June 11th in Chicago area.
Okay.
So almost.
Yeah.
It's at a little smaller capacity now, but
But
almost
We're getting there.
Yeah, it's great because those places that you're playing, they're intimate, but yet they feel like it's a full stadium.
yeah.
The sound.
Yeah, definitely. Like this last place, Afterlife, was just amazing. It's kind of like the Forge, but I would say it's maybe the same size, maybe bigger, but it's just a cool stage. It's like super high up, and then there's chandeliers all over. It's just gorgeous. So that was really cool to play there. I love it. I hope we go back there soon. But
I crossed that off my bucket list.
right.
Right? But you guys haven't played Vegas yet, so that's got to be on your bucket list.
Oh,
We
yes.
need to, definitely.
have you done the East Coast at all yet?
No, we haven't. I want to. We were actually scheduled before the pandemic to play in New York for like a Music Gorilla thing they had going on with Music Gorilla, but it was literally, well, it got canceled because it was right when COVID hit. So yeah, hopefully soon. But
I think today, 19th. Today we went 100% on everything.
really?
Yeah, today was mask
Awesome.
off with vaccination
Woo!
and 100% on. We went from I don't know what to okay, we're open. All right.
I didn't
Like,
know that.
great.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
I'm going to see you tomorrow to have Nathan's. The inside joke here is Carol and I are always battling over two things.
No,
Deep
yeah.
dish, whatever that stuff is, and New York City pizza. Who's got the better hot dogs?
Let's ask Jennifer. Jennifer,
Oh, this
you
ain't
know,
fair.
yeah, you know what a Chicago hot dog is. I know both of you know what a Chicago hot dog
Oh
is.
boy, is this gonna be an argument here? This is gonna be a little debate here. This is gonna be a little debate here about Chicago
Nope.
dogs.
An adult discussion.
Don't get too wrong. Don't sleep on a Chicago dog, if anything.
You gotta have Tums.
You're gonna have to get like the actual antacid liquid. Let's just say that.
Miralax.
Miralax, yeah. Get like a small bottle.
That was my question. I said, how can you call it a hot dog when you can't even see the hot dog? It's on the 7 layers of everything else but a hot dog.
That is the best. The Portillo's Chicago style hot dog with pickles, relish, onions.
Yes.
My
Yes.
stomach is doing backflips just when you say that. I can barely
That's
handle
awesome.
sauerkraut.
Portillo's, if you're listening to this, sponsor Ignescent, please.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah, I love Portillo's. That's one. Well, living in Vegas, we can go to Phoenix, and there's one there.
Oh wow.
It's great. It's so good.
Actually, a little funny story here. The the founder of Portillo's, he started the first Portillo's like hot dog stand in Villa Park, around like 5 minutes away
Yeah.
from my place. Yeah.
Familiar, yeah.
And he actually, since he's retired and everything, he lives in a house over here in, I think like, yeah, Oak Brook. No, Downers Grove.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Portillo, he had that little shack there in Villa Park.
yeah, the original one. Yes.
Yes.
It's
I
so
know
cool.
all about it.
You gotta come.
It was
You gotta
way
come back
back
for a
in the
Chicago
day.
dog.
I know.
Come back for the Chicago dog.
Watch this, because way back in the day when Carol was, you can tell me to shut up because you know where I'm going.
Stop it, Mike.
We're babies of this. Well, we're children of the 70s, right? When
Yeah.
we grew up through the 70s, makes us children of the 70s. Is that how that works?
I guess that's how it works.
You a child of the 60s? Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh!
ouch.
Oh, Mike. Oh,
Say-
Mike.
New York City style pizza rules.
Jennifer likes deep dish.
Yeah, I don't know if it's split here, but all I know is I wouldn't be able to eat them if I tried. Back to the music.
Yeah.
Just all the time. Just
Jennifer, are you guys going to be doing more dates? I mean, there's only kind of like a few on your tour page.
Yeah, and well, I need to update that. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, right now we have Life Fest Wisconsin, Life Fest Nashville, Tennessee, Cadet Wisconsin for Rock Fest, and then we'll be adding more dates as we go along. Right now, we're working on releasing an EP, so that is supposed to be released in September. And we're doing a brand new music video for the single that will be coming out of the EP and some new pictures June 3rd. So we're working on that. And then as soon as all that's done and we get that out, we're going to be going crazy with shows. So
Yeah, that's great. Because I want to see you live.
I was going to
Awesome.
ask.
Yeah.
We've kind of come to somewhat of a consensus, kind of maybe a little mixed. When the pandemic hit, and after the initial shock of like, it was kind of weird. It's like when you get that call, like a nightmare, you wake up and it's like, is this real? Went from just stopping. And then you realize we got to do something. What did you guys do mostly during the pandemic? Did you finally settle into burying yourselves into writing music, or, obviously everybody had to stay apart, I would imagine, right? For X amount of time?
yeah, we wrote music, and then we recorded our EP with Cameron Pierce Mazzell. He's worked with like Memphis Mayfire, Sleeping with Sirens. So we recorded that with him. And then one of the songs, actually our guitarist Jose recorded for us. And then Nick Radanovic, who has worked with like bands like Skillet, actually like edited it and mixed it for us. So yeah, we did that. We just recorded, worked on songwriting, got that music video to Exodus out. And that
Shout out to
song
Sean
done. And
Sebastian,
actually,
my brother.
oh yeah, your brother. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Sean.
right. Got to give a shout out to Sean, my brother. He's the one that recorded all of the Exodus music video at Joliet Prison.
Yeah, he did an awesome job. He did an awesome job. And then Jeremy Valentine of New Year's Day actually produced the song Exodus. So that was really cool to work with him.
Shout out to Jeremy.
Then, yeah. But yeah, Ian's brother did an amazing job on the music video for Exodus. So we're really blessed that he could do that for us. And so yeah, we worked on all that stuff. We were kept busy.
I wasn't sure exactly when you recorded the EP, if it was during, the downtime or, but that kept you going.
Mhm.
Yeah, we just did like the small steps here and there, just do writing here and there, and obviously we record, and majority of it, we just like recorded some demos in my basement, and Jose brought his stuff, and Jen came and sang and did some lyrics, did some writing here. So yeah, it was, there were times where we did have a lot of productive days, especially during the pandemic.
And we don't get too nosy, but we do ask because we know music is the passion, but also it's not like it was back in the day. People got to balance the music with their real lives and also work.
Oh yeah.
So I would imagine, again, everybody's got, there's music and then this is how we eat. Basically.
Pretty much. I mean, I'll start with it. I not only with music, I also work as a patient care technician at a critical care hospital. So
you're in healthcare.
Yeah.
So you were right up in front of this whole, somewhere in this mess.
Pretty much. And I have the lovely night shift duties. So
Oof.
So it gets pretty rough. So I would honestly give a shout out and bless all the hearts of all the medical health workers out there. A lot of them are just, a lot of people think, oh, they're going into work, like they're just working, but like many hours of just, keeping them alive, keeping them comfortable. Even just like the healthiest person can't even, like when they're in there, they can't even get even a cup of water, or they need help, and they could be young as in their 40s or 50s. So just being able to help them out and giving them the extra boost and motivation to get better, or just some sort of comfort, because when the pandemic hit, there were a lot of families that were separated from their loved ones. They couldn't even know visitation hours, nothing. It was pretty much strict under some circumstances. But, we were just like that, the healthcare workers, especially like the nurses, doctors, the nurse assistants like me, we will literally sit by, like right by their bedside and, give them our hand. And it's like, you know what, we're here for you.
I have a tremendous amount of respect. I always have, but last June I had a heart attack.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And it was right at the end of the big spike, New York. And when I got to the hospital, they kept me in the ICU for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, that's where I worked there too. Yeah.
Okay. And it was quiet. Because I
Mhm.
was expecting to kind of be walking into what was happening. And they said, no, we're in a lull. About 2 weeks ago, it really started to, was calming down, and I was lucky. And I'd been in and out of the hospital a few times, a few more procedures, and I'm there every 2 or 3 days. Again, I was just telling Carol, picking up prescriptions, going for blood tests, whatever. But I kind of like know everybody now, and they even know how I take my coffee in the coffee shop. I'm turning into that guy, but the respect I have, like when I hear people complain, I'm like, I'm the guy, I want to just scream at them. Shut up. Are you kidding me? You don't know what these people, it's a different type of person, breed of person to do what you do. And if
I mean, it's
aren't
really tough.
that now, they never will be. You're not convincible. But
It's tough, but we just keep going. We keep plugging away, no matter what.
I see it. I mean, I saw how sometimes, the enemy, I don't know how you do it. Honestly, that's all I don't know what else to say other than I'm tremendously thankful because I'd never had COVID. I was lucky. But I mean, I was in and out of there constantly and seeing what was going on. Like you said, no visitation. When you drove in the parking lot at the hospital, you had a giant sign telling you what the rules were as you came in. You know, it was a joke. But Jen, you, other than music, you don't have this again. I don't pry into people's lives, but if you want to, you could say, you know, tell us what you do not in the music.
Yeah. Well, I was until recently a finance manager, so doing like accounts payable, accounts receivable, and balancing the accounts basically. So in finance, nothing too exciting, but yeah, it's totally different than music, and so I do enjoy doing that. But I was let go or laid off basically. I think it was pretty soon after that pandemic had hit and everything. So yeah, so I've been home for a little while, just being a mom, which is good because my daughter was home and didn't go back to school till just recently in April. So it actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise because she was home and then I could be home with her. So yeah, so right now I'm home, but I'm sure I will be finding something pretty soon.
Well, the reason I bring that up, and it's different now. Music industry is different now. The way we promote, market, record, everything's changed about music. Everyone don't know the story. You're not going to find it on the radio, rock and roll especially.
Yeah.
It's not going to be spoon fed to you like when we were younger. You know, you'd hear it or there'd be a lead up, or you know, you're not going to have the record label like it used to be, the big deal, and going and taking you demos around. I want people to understand that to really support the future of rock and roll, yes, if you like their music, social media, number one, it's usually the first connection, or word of mouth. Give them a like, give them a follow on their Spotify, it matters. You know how all that works now. To get gigs, they want to see your, you know, in your EPK, you've got X amount of followers and streams and all, you know, it's all different now. But also these people don't steal from them. And this is what I tell. Just because you can find the music in different ways doesn't mean to take it. They work, they have lives too. It costs money. The music, you know, it's for you to hear, but to technically own it, if it's up for sale, you purchase it. You know, none of this is cheap. It's not cheap to record. It's not cheap to tour. It's not cheap to, you know, you get all of these things, you know, like everything else. Especially now, loading up the van can cost a few $100 by going to the next town and having to stay overnight at a hotel. So I've started to talk more about people's lives a little bit outside of the music, that have the, you know, if you like them and respect them, do the right thing. That's why I say that. Listen to they have, you know, responsibilities. And just recently it's been talked, for some reason it just started to happen. People really start, I say music, the artists were talking more and more about their personal lives, because I think because of what's happened over the last year, it's brought more of that emotion out. And like I said, some of the bonuses, it's come out in the music. And this resurgence that rock and roll is having is two things, in my opinion. Is it's leveled the playing field, what's going on, by stopping everything in its tracks. The big labels are losing money like crazy, and they're losing power. And that's given bands like you guys more of a leg up to hop in and start stealing the spotlight. And I'm seeing that's reflected in the Billboard charts. A lot of independent bands and labels are showing up, and they're higher than the Pretty Reckless, and, you know, making their presence known. And that's, in a sick way, this pandemic gave it to us. You know, I don't ever say that the real good came out of this, because there was nothing good. I would have much preferred to see this come more organically. People just start, you know, looking and craving for the music. But in the end, if, you know, if this is something we can take out of this, hey, we'll take it because it deserves it. It's not a
Yeah.
gift. But I think what you guys are going to come out into after start to gear up again. You said with June, the talk in your area is going to be open 100% again, and then you got all these festivals lined up. You're going to see probably the most charismatic crowds you've seen in a long time.
I bet.
This is the natural reaction to what's happened now. Is kind of like the response to the 80s music, hair metal. And I'm not allowed to say that, another one of those things. That's 80s metal, whatever you want to call it, was grunge. You know, you party, and there had to be, you know, you had to collapse. It's like anything else that goes too long. It was the response. Now, through all this misery, rock and roll's the answer. It's just release and your voice and be who you are, and especially with what you guys have together. I always try so hard to tell people to just give it a listen, and it's something you're gonna like because it's double-edged sword. That's what I call it, and the rest is up to them.
Yeah.
That's why when I first heard Exodus, I was like, wow, and I didn't know about the band yet,
Okay.
and I got it, and I'm like, that's cool. That's and then I started to dig deeper.
You're welcome.
Glad you like it. That's awesome to hear.
That's awesome.
I'm hoping, you know, I'm meeting so many. I say meeting, you know, I would love to see you guys live. I want to see everybody live now, and
Yeah.
hopefully everyone starts crisscrossing the country, and the phone starts ringing.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
And
Yeah. I think everyone's going to be so excited just to get back to live shows and attend them, and just, I think there's going to be like an energy like we've never experienced before. Yeah.
It's so pent up.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
And we've been so tempered with what's gone on that, you know, I guess it's that pent up, you want to scream, and finally,
Right.
okay. But Carol even said it. She'd seen a band, you know, what, a month or two ago, and had been,
Yeah.
she was brought to tears just by seeing a band in front of her.
Aw, that's so sweet. I love that.
Wow.
I love
Our
that.
music.
Yeah, we've gotten, like just at our last show on Saturday, we got so much encouragement, and so yeah, and the audience was awesome. So just the energy, it was just so cool. So it was, yeah, that's super encouraging.
A lot of good energy in that show. Like a lot of, pretty much it's metal, you know, you got to
Yeah.
release all that energy, because why? It's metal.
Right.
That's the answer to everything.
It's a rock show. Got to release. You're not going to get anywhere else. It's a rock show. You got to get that release.
And metal should always be typed in all 5 letters, 5 caps.
Exactly.
Yeah. Metal.
Metal. That's it.
Metal.
That's it.
Now, so from here forward, it's basically turn us loose. If I'm correct, right?
Release the hounds.
Release
That's right.
Let me get Carol. Carol looks like she's ready to jump into the screen. What do you got?
Well, no, I wanted to ask Jennifer. Jennifer, what's your musical influences?
Musical influences are Flyleaf, Skillet, as of recently Ginger, because I'm really starting to get into that like harder and that 8-string type vibe, and like Jose's been writing everything on the 8-string, so I love that edginess. And I do like Black Veil Brides. I recently got into them too. I love their music. Jose pretty much introduced me to them.
That's a great 80s band. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Black Veil Brides. But yeah, but it's, yeah, definitely I would say like Skillet and Flyleaf are my biggest influences. I do like some bands like, or solo artists like Fury Camp and Colton Dixon. But yeah, but definitely Skillet.
You always sang? Is this something you know, when you started the band, were you always, well, let me ask you, before this, what were you doing musically? Anything? Or kind of just something that hit you?
Yeah, no. Well, actually, I started singing when I turned 15. Before that, I was really into dance. I would do like jazz, ballet, tap. But when I was 15, my friend started to take like vocal lessons, and I saw her and I'm like, ooh, I really want to try that. So I did that and I fell in love with singing, and I just started writing songs. Actually, the first song I wrote was more of a worship song, and I would sing at church on the worship team a lot. So I did that. But yeah, but I just one day I'm like, you know what? I've always wanted to start a band. Let me just do this. And I yeah, I put some ads out, and it kind of started from there. And because I just love, I've always loved rock. I don't know, I love the edginess of it, and the emotion of it, and I just love it. And so I just kind of started a band. But
That's the beautiful thing about it. What the heck? I'm going to start a band. That's how.
why not, right?
Ian, your musical chronology. When did you become, let's say, interested in becoming a musician, and your love for rock and roll? When did that start?
Man, honestly, it started because I come from a musical family pretty much, and majority of it comes from my dad because my late grandpa, he used to love a lot of rock and metal. And then so I was actually introduced to Motley Crue, surprisingly, at an early age, and I just was awe-inspired by Nikki Sixx and his style of play, and a lot of, he even admitted he's not the greatest bass player, but he can freaking rile up a crowd with all his energy. And I'm just like, wow, I want to give that a try, just become a musician. Then I got introduced to some heavier bands, Metallica, Slayer. Then it went into alternative rock like Foo Fighters and Soundgarden. Then went to Lincoln Park eventually. So, and Asking Alexandria. So, and then I first started, the first instrument I actually picked up surprisingly was a piano. And then I just started taking lessons here and there, joined the band back in middle school, played the flute and percussion for a little bit. And then I reached 8th grade, and I was like, I want to do something. I want to play guitar. So, but then with like singing and everything like that, I've always sang because Filipino, we always have karaoke nights every single night. So of course
I knew you were going to say that.
of course I got sucked into it. I'm just like, I guess I'm pretty good. I'm scoring a 10 out of 10. So I think I'm doing pretty good, unless the machine's like, well, you're kind of bad, but we'll just give you a 10 out of 10. Here's a participation ribbon. But but other than that, singing for me has always been there. And then the like other instruments just was over the years. But then I didn't get serious until I was 18, 21. Just, I did it for fun for a little bit. It was more of my way of coping, because me with mental illness and depression and anxiety, it was like my escape pretty much. I would always have my acoustic guitar. I would always bring it everywhere I go. Even I would have like my little sessions at the park, and I would just sit there for hours and play at the park until the sun goes down. And I'm like, I feel good. So it's, for me, music was like a different approach to just like, everything's going to be okay. I shouldn't worry about anything too much, because music is technically my first love in a way.
Again, power of music. It's incredible. Again, because I guess we all have, split lives. We have our work and then our music. Keep rock alive in this, and what I do, trying to support the future rock and roll, is my it's my therapy. And I was just saying, because I'm looking into I'm looking to move to New York City by July 1st.
Nice.
I was in Greenwich Village last week. Met some people down there, really cool people. I just want to meet and talk to people and get behind the scenes with everything to do with rock and roll now. I'm just obsessed with it, especially the artists, and that's the reason for this. And this wouldn't happen again if it wasn't for COVID-19, doing Zoom things that I never thought I'd do before. But you would love then. I was sitting there a week ago, Washington Square Park, New York City, and I just sat there with a pretzel and a Coke, looking around, and I'm just surrounded by bands of every different style and genre too, because that's the area, that's the park where guys like Dylan, Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix was playing down there in the 60s, and the history just in the music, and what a cool little area of New York. And just, I didn't want to leave. I didn't grow, I'm from New York. I originally grew up in Staten Island. That's New York City, but it's the borough all the way to the south. And I'm from upstate, and I've always felt like the alligator at the crocodile convention. I just don't fit in up here. But you would absolutely love, and I say this all the time, I kid around, but Chicago and New York, I think, are like the two brothers that were separated at birth.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much, the lifestyles, the music, the history, the culture, all of it. Very, very, very similar. And just what you were saying, playing in the park, we had the same thing. So you'd love it here. I'd probably love it there. I've never been to Chicago, but I'd love to check it out.
I'll take you to Portillo's when you get here. And there's also Gene and Jude's. I don't know if you ever heard of Gene and Jude's. Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to my neighbor because he's watching this interview.
I kid around about it, but I do love all the food. I just get around. Who said it was a band we talked to a couple of weeks ago that the lead singer was from the area, right? Carol?
Yeah.
And Carol's like, oh, right, I'm gonna stick it to Mike. And she goes, no, it's too thick and it's too bready. And I'm like, ah! Carol was like, what?
That was a horrible moment.
But hey, you can't win them all.
It happens.
Yeah. So and the rest of the band, just again say that we said hi. If there's anything else you guys want to plug or anything, because what I do after this is I'll send you a copy of this for anything. We don't own this. And everything we do is for the bands.
Cool.
So I'll get you a copy of this in a day or two.
It is mine.
What I do is I'll chop up, I'll find like different, like we call them snippets, and I put them out, minute, 2-minute clips, and just try to get the message out there. I just want people, whatever it takes to get fresh ears, hearing you guys, seeing you guys, connecting to you guys. And once they click on you, my job is done. That's one more, because that's the way it works. Now, let me ask you this, social media. Who's in charge of that? Jen?
Yeah, we have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok.
On TikTok.
I think that's it, but it's all at Ignescent Music. So just at IGNESCENT Music, Ignescent Music. So you can check us out there, follow us on Instagram and all that. Yeah, and then our website is just www.ignescentmusic.com.
All right, so you got it all covered.
Which needs to be updated a little bit.
TikTok, how are you doing on it? Oh, I gotta ask, because I get this.
We had a fun video of Ian that people liked.
I got
a little
I didn't know you
dance.
guys were there.
Yes. Check out Ian's dance on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Because I
am now.
have this problem. When I find our bands doing something that might be questionable, and if I notice when I go, where it says you can download, if it says no, or it doesn't give you the option to download the video off of someone's TikTok page, I know how to steal it. So it might be It might be on KRA tomorrow.
Might be.
I'm not saying nothing. Tomorrow, because I am going to the city tomorrow.
No problem.
I'll do a live video from Coney Island eating Nathan's hot dogs to Ian's dance.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank
I
you.
want to see Mike dance with a
Go,
hot
do
dog.
it, do it.
The Wonder Wheel. I want to take everybody on the Cyclone
Ooh,
roller
That
coaster. I
big-
really want to do it.
Yes.
that would be fun.
Live from the Cyclone. Keep rock going.
And there's me dancing.
I haven't been on it since like 1978
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
when I was a kid down there.
Nice.
But what's the worst that could happen?
Right.
It'll be funny.
Definitely. Sounds like a date.
I'll do it.
Let's go. I'll see you there. Oh,
And
man.
then also, I just wanted to mention, if you could check out our Spotify too, because we're on Spotify as well. And
Oh, yes,
iTunes.
Spotify. Check
You
us
got
out.
everything on there.
Well, again, the reason I guess Spotify is incredibly important because it's the barometer for everything now. You know?
Yeah.
And when you're shopping around doing whatever you're doing, whether it's your music or gigs or whatever, Spotify, that number is that's the standard now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's why, again, I repeat and repeat until I'm blue in the face. If you're a fan of the band, it doesn't take much to go click, just follow them. Even if you don't use Spotify or whatever, just follow them. You're
Mhm.
helping them. YouTube channel, subscribe, social media, all of them. Just, it don't cost nothing.
Nope.
The same way we used to run to the record store and buy a 45 or an album or a cassette or whatever. It's even easier now. Just click. And you wouldn't believe how many times I got to scream at people, just do it, please.
Right.
Because Carol and I are very different the way we approach things. I've got a big mouth. She's more mellow. So I've been
I have my moments.
but I've been shifting this. She's going to take over more of this as I pull away from it and just concentrate on the music. But we usually wrap it up with the last question I ask everybody is, and I'm going to ask it correctly, Carol. She stole it from me. In a perfect world, if you had your wish for your dream collaboration, whether it's a band or an artist, living or gone, past or present, who would it be?
Oh, man.
Now I don't say it right away. Try to go for one. I know that's tough. Up to 3. And it doesn't matter. Sometimes we've waited a few minutes for any kind of response. And then they come flooding out.
Right.
Take your time. No Jeopardy final music. Not all the time in the world.
Jen, you want to go first? This is tough for me.
Right.
There's a
Well,
lot of bands I would want to collaborate with.
I know right away it would definitely be Skillet or John Cooper of Skillet, and then Lacey Sturm, formerly of Flyleaf. So those 2 people, hands down, that's who I would love to collaborate with someday. Though we did co-write a song with Ben Kasica of he used to be in Skillet, he's no longer in Skillet, and that was really cool, the song Calling Out to You. But I would love to collaborate with John Cooper of Skillet.
See what happens? Happens every time. You get the first, and then, and this one, and then the brain starts to click. But that's all the
What about you, Ian?
Oh, this is tough. Obviously, I would want to collaborate with you know what? Mick Gordon, who made the latest Doom soundtrack from the video games. The latest one. He's got like a heavy tone, and it's pretty much almost similar to our style of play, or like Jose's style, pretty much, how he plays and how he comes up with riffs and everything. So Mick Gordon, and he uses 9-string instead of 8-string. So there's this other solo artist. He's called Andromeda. He's all instrumental as well. does 8-string and something similar, drop tuning and just heavy, a lot of heavy dark tones. One more. I'm gonna throw in Corn. I've always I love Corn.
Yeah.
Hear that in you guys too. But it's funny that you mentioned Doom, and it's something I started to, become aware of in the last couple of years. Is there's a market there for the music that I never really, I knew, it's there, but you don't really, let's say, absorb it.
Yeah,
But
you don't think about it.
yeah, more and more it's
Mhm.
happening. And what really, I don't know if you into gaming or I'm not, but I do like tech. And last year I was really getting into YouTube, just out of 2 a.m. and I'm just tired of watching the same stuff. I started watching this guy on YouTube, the 8-bit guy.
I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, there's the 8-bit guy. There's LGR. He's from Texas, and they're into the old tech, the old games. And Doom always came up,
Hmm.
But they start talking about now, since it's been sold, and what's happening with not just the programming but music, and how music is being written into these games and written by, let's say, established musicians for the games now. Where it's not just their production music. It's they're being brought into, like, let's say they bring in, hey, you guys want to come do some music for our game, and write it specifically for the game.
Yeah.
Where music is coming out of the games, the kids hear in the games, and that's another one of those connections that's wonderful for rock and roll. I don't know how to do that or how to approach that, but if you can write music for these software companies that write these games, that's a way to. Well, this is something I should have asked you. Your fan base. Do you know that when you, let's say, your demographics, or when you go to a crowd, is it you get a lot of youth? Are you getting, or what do you notice out in the crowd?
Sometimes it's a hit or miss. Like sometimes we get pretty much almost everybody in our crowd, especially in the front when people are just like, we don't want to sit down, we want to be up front kind of thing. So we get pretty much all ages, and it's just really entertaining to just see everyone, like literally of all ages, just being up front and just like, oh, you got the young kids here, and then you got the older adults and everything. It's really cool to see. Just it's mixed, and it's really cool, like how there are different reactions. Like they would be head bob, like just the simple head bob, and then there are some of those people that just like go all out with like head banging and everything. I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta match this too. So you get different reactions. So it's interesting and entertaining at the same time, and it's a blessing as well as we're starting to build our fan base.
That's why I ask all the time, because the one thing I noticed that was missing, that I'm starting to see all the bands tap, is the younger audience.
Yeah,
I think kids are starting to look for that, what we did, more that, a little bit of rebellion, a voice for us, just the energy. I think the easiest way to win a rock and roll fan or a metal fan is just take them to a concert. You don't have to say anything. Just get them in there, because they're never going to leave the same. And to me, nothing matches a gig.
that's kind of funny how you mention it too, because literally that's me and my dad. If one of us are sad, it's like, oh, you're sad? Let's go to a concert. Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I'm sure you probably had this happen. I think everyone has. How hard is it to come down off a gig, whether you're playing or even just at one when you get home?
Oh, wow.
I'm knocked out as soon as I get home.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's what you guys are playing, right? So that's that's almost an unfair question, but you still got that energy is still in, you know what I mean? Like if you go sleep,
Yeah, it takes me a while. Yeah,
it
it takes me a
still
while
going, and it doesn't take anything else other than the music,
Yeah,
just
definitely.
awesome.
But usually after a show, we like to, you know, fans come up to us or somebody that just recently discovered us or, you know, watched us live. They'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I really love you guys. You guys are awesome. Seeing you guys for the first time." So we're honestly that type of band that will just like hang out for a little bit after the show, you know, just relax, you know, have a drink and just, you know, talk to the fans and just chat, you know.
I'm a big proponent for connect with your fans.
Mhm.
I also tell the fans equally they need their space too, you know. Meaning, you know, you see everybody always crowding the big, you know, the legends or all that.
Yeah.
You know, if you, to me, if I see someone in a store, I don't go, or if I'm in a restaurant or something and someone, you know, let's say that I'm a fan of, I don't ever invade them. You know, I call it, they have lives, they have respect. Just because you bought that music doesn't mean you own it. But on the flip side, when you're wearing your rock and roll uniform, um, especially as easy as it is now with social media, you could make a fan's day with just simply responding to something they wrote on your social media and like, oh my God, Jennifer answered me, or Ian, you know what I mean? That makes it, it's not like when we were kids that we had to wait for the bands to come around on tour if we wouldn't even get, you know, see them at a record store or outside the stage door, or, you know, loading in, loading out. It's easier than ever.
Yeah.
Again, if fans today love feeling that they're part of what you guys are doing, and I say that for all the bands.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean for anybody to take advantage of that either, but
Mhm.
it's really it's a different and cool time. And I think in the last, especially again this last year, where we were lagging behind against all these other genres of music that were, let's say, dominating, which they were. Um, I'm the kind of rock and roll purist that was always, you know, I'm always the one, you got to be pure to the sound. And, you know, I like the live recording and all that, but we forced rock and roll to catch up technologically, meaning use the tools at hand. Don't go against, we're not changing the basics, but we're using all these extra tools, like what we're doing right now, to our advantage. And it's in less than a year, rock and roll has caught right up. Over 20 years of kind of just like scratching it away to keep up with pop and hip hop.
Yeah.
I really think I'd love to be able to know what it's gonna be like in 6 months, but I think you guys are gonna be, you said exhausted for, you know, after a gig. When this really takes off, you haven't seen anything yet. This is gonna be totally different. If there was ever a time, it's now. And
Awesome.
again, you can really see it happening because even I've just been doing the KRA for 4 years. And it's always been the mission is to support the future of rock and roll. And again, I've learned trial by error. And I really saw the difference in the last 3 months. And since last June-ish, I started the TikTok approach, and I started seeing kids getting interested. And you could feel the difference in let's say the climate of the music and what people want. And now it's just doing it on its own. And I was like saying to Carol this afternoon that KRA just broke 24,000 followers. That, you know, again, they're not all real, but to hit that number with something that, you know, a dummy like me, just, you know, throwing music out there, hoping people listen, it's doing it on its own now. I don't ask, and I see people very, very, they're very open to offering their opinion and stating when they like something, now they really like it and they're buying the music. And that's what I love. And I see kids getting involved. And another thing on TikTok, if you guys see, there's a lot of kids on there, we'll say 20 and under, 15 and under, kids 6 years old, guitars, drums, bass, singing, jamming. All of a sudden, it's there that the youth is heavily involved in rock and roll and metal. I say rock and roll is the whole family, rock and metal, you know.
Awesome.
But,
That's awesome. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I'm really excited. I can't wait.
Yeah. And you guys will play, I mean, once you start booking dates, you just go straight through whatever you, because we'll probably end up, this summer will finally take off. It'll wind down because it's going to be still a little weird this year, but this
Yeah.
winter, everything will be open. And then next year, when we've had time to really sit down, because all these schedules are coming out, like Carol's been keeping her ear to what's happening, and
Mhm.
they're trying to push out all these outdoor festivals as quick as they can. And I
Mhm.
think they're just going to sell out anyway because people are so hungry. But next
Yeah.
year is going to be a huge one. This has really had a chance to sink in, and I'm expecting what everyone said for years to not be able to happen again is rock and roll takes its seat at the throne again. I really think it can happen. Now, if you asked me this 2 years ago, I might have said, "Oh yeah, I think it can happen," and I'd log off and go, "It ain't gonna happen." I'd love to see it happen, but I mean, God, we're up against
Yeah.
it's totally everything's different. It is so
Awesome.
different right now. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Someone else I know said the same thing too. It's so interesting that you're saying that. You're the second person that I've heard say that. So that's really encouraging.
And I said this before,
Mhm.
that, why couldn't something like that happen again?
Yeah,
Mhm.
It went the other way.
right.
We could never have foreseen, let's say, I always say it happened, it started in the late 90s when Napster showed up. Everything kind of changed, and everything went more tech. 2000, it really changed, where culturally what was okay in the 80s was no longer okay. Without going into details, look at today. You got to be careful. You guys are safe from, let's say, that, because the message that you write into your music, like you said, Jen, is, if unless you're against Christianity for whatever reason, there's people that are, God bless them, I say, that's,
Uh-huh.
you are what you're raised as. I don't condemn anyone for what they are, whether we agree with them or not. They probably didn't have a choice. They were raised in it. What are you going to do? But you're safe from that. But there are bands out there, like some of these kids with a little harder edge stuff, a little more, let's say, bite to the lyrics without going into it. And I say to them, you want to connect and resonate with your peers. So if you're an 18-year-old band, you want to be going after the 18-year-old to 20-year-old, or teens. That should be the kids coming, like it was when we were that age. That's what fueled the 50s. That's what fueled the 60s. That's what fueled the 70s. And that's what fueled the 80s and early 90s.
Right.
Was the teenagers and younger 20s. And then it all changed. But I would always say, write whatever comes from your heart, whatever it is, whatever that was, that in your life or the anger, whatever. And then I started to say in the last few years, but now you can't offend this one. You got to be careful. You might split your fan base. You might end up on the news. Who knows? It only takes, and you see how it is now with social media. You're so exposed. It only takes one negative to destroy you.
Yeah.
And that's what scared me for rock and roll, and why I thought, I don't know if it can come back, because it's missing one of the biggest, let's say, blocks in the foundation of rock and roll, which is that voice, that edge, that, the rebellion of a lot of the music, that even toning down the music and, let's say, popifying it. That was happening a lot over the last 10 years. There's been a lot of good music, but we haven't had that big splash band since, I gotta say, Nirvana. That, when I say changed everything, changed music, changed culture, made that kind of splash. There's been great bands, but we were never able to stick because we were up against this new era, which I don't know how to explain. But it is what it is. But it's all changed the last year, and again the last 3 to 6 months. Amazing the difference in where we were saying before. Do you think rock and roll will ever be number one again? 3 years ago, I'd love to see it. It's possible. Anything, nothing's forever. Now I'm like, I almost can see it not. I can't see it not. it's going to happen. It's happening right in front of our eyes, and we're seeing it unfold. And it was like someone just flipped a switch, and I'm like blown away. So we'll see. And I could be in 6 months going, well, I also thought that first marriage was a good idea. That didn't work. I am not perfect.
Honestly, anything can happen.
Yeah. But
True.
if there's ever a time, prime time for you guys, all of you, everybody. Rock bands, get out there and just do your thing. That's it.
Time is now.
It's now. There's no more waiting. It's here. It's happening. Like I said, today, the doors open here. You know, all the chains are flying off. The masks are coming off.
Right.
You know, and that's it. Hit the stage. And
Yeah. And that's what we say the same thing with Ignescent now. This is a new era for us, and it's the beginning of something different than what Ignescent's sound was before. This is totally different, and it's pretty much positive, in your face kind of thing. So we're obviously, you know, I can't speak for everybody in the band, but we're super excited to show what we have in stores, especially for 2021. It's a new year for us. It's a new era for Ignescent.
it drips of both. It's powerful in its message, and it's powerful in the music, because I didn't expect to hear what I heard the first time I listened to you guys. And I was like, whoa, okay.
Totally different.
That's good though.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I can't wait for you guys to hear the new EP in September. It's
Yeah.
and the
exciting.
timing is perfect, because we're going to have this whole summer for things to fall into place again. The dust is going to settle, and then bang, new
Yeah.
music again. Perfect timing.
Yes, I'm excited.
4 months ago, I'm saying to people, I think they're crazy releasing music right now. You know, and then I went to, oh my God, hurry up, get the music out here. We're ready.
I know.
Put something out. Yeah.
Yep, people are hungry, man. They want some
Right.
tunes.
All of a sudden, the inbox was exploding. There were days I was putting out 4, 5, 6 songs a day, and what was happening is getting lost in the mix. I'm like, what do you do? I didn't even know what to do. We flirted with ideas. We were going to do KRA radio. We tried that. People were in it. There's just so many. There's too many ways, almost different ways to hear music, that I said, it's just not going to work. Too many established ways. Let's just stick with what works. And
Yeah.
And that, guys, I don't want to keep you too long. It's what's it, 9 o'clock out there, right? Yeah, you're Central Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
Carol, it's still probably sun's still out over there, isn't it?
No, it's pretty much settled now.
You got time to the casino.
No, not tonight. No.
All right, but we're gonna, after you guys get a few gigs in, if you got anything you want us to post, send it our way, Carol.
Okay.
Once you start getting some live clips, I mean, we're always watching, but sometimes I'll miss something. Don't ever be afraid to send us what you got if there's something you want us to put out there for you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Someone's always recording at our shows, trust me.
Awesome.
Somebody's always recording, and at rehearsals too, unfortunately.
Very cool.
That is TikTok material. That's
Oh
perfect.
geez. Do I have to
Yeah.
dance? Do I have to dance some more?
Yes, you do. We're gonna
I almost forgot about that.
What's the
We
hot dog?
gotta write that
What's
down.
the Portillo's? 2
I'm
Portillo's
going
hot
right
dogs.
Oh, totally. Yeah, do you like McDonald's deep dish pizza?
Yes.
I'm getting hungry now.
Me too. I think I'm going to Portillo's after this.
I know, right? I'm going for
You're
none.
right down the street from. Are you live in Downers Grove?
I live in Lombard, but it's literally like
Yep,
5
it's
minutes.
right there.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Yes.
Yes. My
I've been
old
starving.
territory.
I've been
Ooh.
starving myself all night because I know I'm going down tomorrow, and I like to eat light the night before, so I can just eat like a pig when I get into the city.
Yep.
I'll hit everything. I hit Little Italy. I'll go to Chinatown.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
That sounds good.
But then I start to, in my brain, I'm like, ooh, is this a good idea? What time am I going to get home?
Yeah, right.
I don't want to get into too much detail, but
You're making me want to go to downtown Chicago right now to Chinatown.
I know, right?
I wouldn't do for a plate
Yes.
right now or something. God.
God,
All
I
right,
miss
now
everything. I miss
Now,
it.
yeah, now there it's still here. It's still here.
I know. It makes me want to get on a plane and stay there for 2 weeks and just hit all my favorite spots.
Did they freeze it and send it FedEx?
Yeah.
Freeze dried,
Pizza?
vacuum sealed.
Yeah. Put in preheated oven for 350.
No, it's not the same, Mike. You got to get the ambiance. You got to get all
Yeah.
the smells of,
I know that's
just
like
everywhere.
I like sitting on a curb, eating a dog, smelling the exhaust. Well, they don't even know the buses are electric, but still, it still stinks. I want to smell the garbage on the street. That's part of the dirty water.
I know Ian can attest to this. I love pulling into Portillo's. Not even like I'm in the parking lot. I roll down the window. Oh yeah, I can smell the beef, man.
He's going already.
All right, bye.
Beef and hot dogs, man.
Yeah, you already know what's up. You already know what's up. Now I think I'm gonna do that right now, literally after this interview.
Hey, beef and cheese, baby.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
That's right.
We should call them. Let's call it in order.
Yep.
Oh man. Yep,
Hey,
I'm gonna
Portillo's has those great crinkled fries. Take some of them fries, put it right on the beef sandwich. Oh yeah, that's a party.
Ooh, I love the cheese fries. Those are my favorite.
Yes.
I've never done the fries. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
Yes. You have to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
they're
might as well order a slice of cake while I'm at it.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Got
love
him.
their
I got him.
cake.
I got both of them too. Yes.
That devil's food cake, man.
Oh man.
Wait,
Sounds so
I'll double that right there. Chocolate cake shake.
Ooh, he's dangerous tonight,
the mic.
folks.
good. Man.
I don't get on the
Oh.
plane until 8:11 in the morning. How the hell am I going to do this? I can't make it. You got me thinking about
Killing
this.
me. I'm trying to get in shape for our music video and for our pictures. You're killing me.
There you go.
Well,
It's funny. Ian, it's funny because
a big sandwich.
that Portillo's, isn't there a Giordano's right around the corner on Park Street on the left? If you go down Park right before Ogden Avenue, there's a
Yes, there is.
Giordano's.
Yes, there is. Yes. That's where
Yeah,
Jen's
man.
deep dish. That's where Jen's deep dish is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not my favorite because we have one in Vegas now.
No
but-
kidding.
Yeah. I still love the hand-rolled sausage and the Lou Malnati's, man.
Stop it. You know what? They just okay, right by off of Butterfield. They just opened Illuminati's.
Oh,
They just opened Illuminati's. They were like building it because I thought they built this during the pandemic, like last week, and I was just like, or last week, like a couple months ago, and I'm just like, when is it? Like when did we get Illuminati's? I'm getting here every single night.
oh my gosh.
That's true. I started driving around in the last 2 months because you don't realize how many places you didn't go during the pandemic. You can't. I
Yeah.
got into a routine where I went to like the same 4 places for months. And then all of a sudden you be driving around after things started loosening up and I go, when did they build that hotel?
Yeah, like
That wasn't there. Wait a minute, where did Perkins go? The Perkins is now gone and there's a Starbucks in Middletown over here. I'm like, how the hell did that happen? And
Really?
the bank, all of a sudden it's just everything. I see what they did. They wanted to change everything. So they faked the pandemic so we'd stay home and
Yeah.
keep on the building.
Right.
What did they say? What was it, the Jumanji thing or whatever that?
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The
I hope-
one other place I'm gonna say that I miss, it's in your neck of the woods, is Omega on Ogden Avenue.
It's
Oh
gone.
my God, I don't know. what
It's
that is.
gone.
Oh wait, no.
It's gone.
No. Okay, the one in Ogden is still there. There was another Omega right by Yorktown Mall. That's gone.
Okay.
But
okay.
the Omega in Ogden is still there.
Okay. Yes.
It's still there.
Yes. Best potato pancakes in Chicago.
Yes. Every time I go there, potato pancakes.
Look how disheveled Ian's hair is from starving right now. There you go.
That's it. I'm not going to talk about any more food. I'm done.
I gotta eat.
I'm just ready to go get some food
He's
now.
Hey, and we'll catch you next time. We're gonna be looking at a clock for the next 2 hours.
I hope all these restaurants that we just mentioned, I'm just gonna add all of them. I'm just like, please sponsor us, please.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Portillo's,
yeah,
man. Get some shirts going. Yeah.
You know what? No, I mean this. We never do this correctly. Don't be afraid to message us everyone we talked about, and I will when we do the clips.
Mhm.
Not only but anyone that you give a shout out or a mention, we should always tag them. Absolutely.
Okay.
I got a shout out from I don't know if you guys know what it is. Entman's Cakes.
Really?
Yeah, remember I
Nice.
posted a picture of the Entman's crumb cake with the Keep Rock Alive sticker on it.
Oh, yeah.
They loved it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's
I said,
awesome.
oh yeah, because I said when I die, if they do an autopsy on me, they're gonna see that I'm gonna find out I'm 20% crumb cake from eating it my whole life.
Don't get me started. I know there's a bakery in Downers Grove, Busy Bee.
Oh.
Oh, yes, yes. All right, I gotta check if they're open.
They make the
Yeah,
best
like,
flop.
places
Uh,
to
Yeah,
go.
I passed by there. I've always wanted to go in there. I always pass
Ah.
by there. I gotta go check it out now.
That sounds good.
The
Well, they got
best
like,
buttercream cakes in town.
I was gonna say I'm into eclairs, so that's very similar, right?
Yes.
I think you and my brother will
Chocolate
get
on the
along.
top, really light, fluffy cake. You know what? I'm having tomorrow? Tiramisu.
Ooh.
Ferraras.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Tiramisu's really good.
And then I'm gonna go around the corner. And I'm gonna top off the tiramisu with the cannoli, so I can
Ooh.
walk. Because then I'll be looking for coffee.
Ooh, wash that down
That
with
sounds really
coffee.
good.
Yes.
But down in New York City, Chinatown and Little are actually, well, now they're combined. But you got Mulberry Street is Little Italy, so you got all that junk, the stuff I grew up on. I shouldn't say that. I grew up on both. And then the next street, and even longer, is Mott Street and Chinatown. And oh my God, there's a place called Wohop. If you like Chinese food, I can't even explain it. You go down to the basement. It's a seedy, and I can say you'd be scared to death to go in there normally until you have the food and you're like, this is amazing. How is this even possible? And they're like forever. There's places down there, and you're probably same with Chicago, that there's restaurants that don't even have a sign. They're almost like
Yeah.
they're a speakeasy of food.
Yep.
The door opens. What's the password? Mickey Mouse. Come on in. Beef with oyster sauce.
That actually sounds pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
That
Yeah,
does
that
sound
sounds
Yeah, you
real
look
good.
confused. You don't know what you want now. Carol's giving you 10 places to go eat.
I know.
Yeah,
right?
I'm literally gonna go to all these places. I'm gonna text Jen. I'm gonna be like sending pictures and just like, hey, look where I am. All 10 places.
What else?
I got like 10 or 20 more places too. Trust me.
No, it's something we never really talk about, and why not? Trying to get places to start sponsoring. I don't care if it's a bakery or your favorite pizza joint. Why not?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. No, it's a good point.
Brought to
Definitely.
you by I want KRA sponsored by Nathan's Hot Dogs. I want the number 3, 2 dogs, the wedges, and a Coke.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh, man.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, rock and roll. What I forget.
I know. Right?
We just took off on food.
We always go off the tracks. I don't know what you're gonna get here. God, I can't wait. I do. I actually, it's to the point now, like tonight, I'll like, okay, I gotta take a shower. I'm all packed up. I won't be able to fall asleep, and then I'll be up at 6 a.m. What am I gonna do now? I'll go get a cup of coffee, and I'll let me load up a song or whatever. I can't wait to get to the train. And then even worse is if I go to Hoboken, because New Jersey's not bad either.
Yeah.
Another place if you guys ever play the East Coast, seriously, you got New York City, Lower Hudson Valley, Connecticut, Long Island, and New Jersey. There's not as much as there used to be, even before the pandemic, losing clubs. you know, but I think in reflection to what's happening, you're going to start seeing clubs come back and people opening.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's going to happen. You know, ebb and flow. It's like anything else, but
Yeah.
you play out here, you can, if you can get the right, let's say, behind the right promoters, and
Mhm.
hopefully with what venues have gone through and they were hurting and they reached out for help. One thing I'd love to see them start doing is more of the regions start working together instead of it. Oh, we prefer booking our own bands or local bands, or, you know, who can, you know, can you guarantee us X amount? If you take a chance on each other,
Yeah.
double your fan bases.
Mhm.
You're exposed to fan bases you've never been in front of before. So let's say your venue, you're saying, I forgot which one it was, that's got the chandeliers and stuff. That reminds me like the old theaters out here that you walk in and they're beautiful architecturally and you can see the beauty in them.
Yeah.
They've been around for 80 years, 100 years, some of them. There's a
Oh,
place
wow.
up here called the Chance Theater.
Mhm.
Joe Rapp, you see his name on here all the time. He's the promoter and booking agent.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
They also have a similar setup. Main stage, and then upstairs they have another stage called the Loft. It's
Uh-huh.
mostly an acoustic stage. But I always I've never understood, and I want to ask him is, let's say you hooked up with a guy in Chicago and said, listen, I've got these 3 bands. I'm going to send them to you. Send me your 3 bands and we trade.
Yeah. That makes sense.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's the way, you know, there used to be the regional tours, and like Carol calls it packaging. There needs to be more of that.
Yeah.
And that's going to grow the music to the point where you're not going to, it's going to be more like it was in the 70s and 80s when you didn't have to promote tremendously to fill your venue. People were going to come to see who you'd have next.
Yeah. That's true.
They have to be known. Hey, we saw this one here. We know these guys were awesome. They were from Chicago. And then out there, these guys came from New York.
Yeah.
Start building that hype and that buzz again, that you're craving the next band to pass through. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just me thinking out loud, and I just don't understand why people don't. I know they got to pay the bills,
Yeah.
but if there's ever a time that everybody as a rock community came together to help save our stages, now save your bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
instead of
True.
forcing them, what I call into the bubble, in that, you know, the circles, 50-mile radius of, they don't ever play outside that. Okay, they never get that chance to explode. That happens a lot. The UK, the rock scene out there is really big.
Yeah.
In Europe, but they never get off the continent.
Yeah.
They're always playing, you know, and it's great. They have a great support system. But I'd love to see them come here, and I'd love to see our bands going over there. It's crazy. Eventually, when you can.
Right.
That formula for how it used to work, where we used to feed off each other and try to outdo each other, but they were always friends. It was a friendly competition, and the music just grew with it.
Yeah.
It made everybody better, is what I'm saying. It really did.
Yeah.
And we're always
Yeah,
looking to
agree.
become better.
Yeah, I mean, and they learn off each other. It was friendly competitions, you know, turned into legends.
Mhm.
No. Again, I think too much. What I'm thinking about is I'm starving.
Jennifer, it was great meeting you. Ian, I'm telling you, I'm coming to the neck of your woods soon.
Nice. It was great meeting
It's all here
too.
for you. It's all here for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Nice
guys
to meet all of you.
go eat, post pictures of what you had. We'll tag it.
Definitely.
We're gonna go through all this, and then we gotta get it together that we can tag all these places you guys were talking about. Why not?
Yeah.
And then I'll
That's
post the clips. That'll be cool.
There you go. Good idea.
Get some pictures of you holding on your beef sandwiches or whatever you got.
Exactly.
Right.
Awesome.
Gravy. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Go get relax and get something to eat.
Definitely.
Okay,
Thank you so much for having us.
No problem.
Yes, thank you. It was great meeting you.
Thank you.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye. Bye.
They were awesome.
We do it every time. See, it does work when it's because we're two idiots. How the hell? I am not kidding. My stomach is rumbling. And I'm thinking about, because I do every night before I go down, I'll eat light so I can. And now we end up talking. I can smell the food, and there's nothing around. But again, though, very similar. Chicago, New York, like I said, if they're
Yeah.
not long lost brothers, they're first cousins.
That band's going to be great once they hit the road, like officially. I mean, the small clubs they play are really nice venues. Very intimate.
I was totally surprised. You know, when you have a preconception of what a band's going to be before you hear it, and then you hear it, so you're like, whoa. You know?
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, that's the cool part. Very different. And like I said, people need to toss aside their whatever, you know, listen to the music. It's cool. And they've been around they have a lot of good people around.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah, which is really what they need.
Anyway. All right. Well, I'm done. I'm sweating.
Tuesday, we have Nikki Stringfield, right?
Yeah, next one, Tuesday. Yep.
Okay.
Look, like I said, she's really cool.
I love her. I pulled up her bio. I love her.
Yep. She's following right in the footsteps of like I said, maybe a little different, but she's kind of falling right in behind Nita.
Yeah.
And right now, you could argue Nita right now is, when it comes to, well, just guitarists on the planet.
Yeah.
You know, and Nikki's she's that kind of player. She's actually a little more relaxed watching her play. She's she's more laid back. But and she's got some serious gigs. She's doing it, like I said, she's with not with Femme Fatale anymore. I don't think so. Not sure. But Iron Maidens, they're always back and forth.
All over the place.
Yeah, they've been out here. I missed them last year, or not last year, year before. They were here at the Chance, and they were Blackthorn 51, New Jersey. They get gigs everywhere, always moving.
Yeah.
But I keep repeating myself again that if there was ever a time, it's now. You can feel it. You can see it.
Yeah.
It's palpable. It's happening. And if it doesn't happen, then I'll be like devastated.
Right.
So then it's like, what do we got to do? What's it going to take? And why not? People that say, yes, obviously, we don't need the mainstream. We don't need big labels. No, we don't. But I do want to see rock and roll standing at the peak of the mountain.
Yeah.
And that's not, that's because I think it deserves it.
Right.
I'm tired of garbage, being consumed by people and they don't even know,
Right.
Music that's going to last, and it's going to be a memory of you for the rest of your life, not forgotten 2 weeks later. That's what it's become. There's more value to music in general. Maybe it'll make even that other music better. Because that's usually what happens, we always compare things. You have a store that, let's say you use a hot dog stand, and then someone opens one down the street that's doing better than yours, and everybody says, well, the hot dogs are better. You start making yours better, or you go out of business. So
yeah,
that's the way things work. We'll see. All right, but I'm not going to be around tomorrow. I'm going to throw up a couple of things, and that's it.
Okay, I'll do the snippets and just send them to you Friday or something.
Yeah, I'll get them. You can send them. I won't get to them until Friday or maybe tomorrow night. I'm not going to be gone.
Okay. Okay. Well, enjoy your hot dogs and cannolis.
Because now I got thinking about, I mentioned Mulberry Street, and then that quickly changed to Woha. I would love to oyster sauce, spare.
Oh my God! Stop it, Mike.
Spare ribs.
Stop.
Pork fried rice, and they make it with the egg in it the right way.
Oh yeah.
That's the real.
Yeah.
They got a good egg. Well, you know what? I just had the teeth pulled. I got to eat stuff I can chew.
Right. Well, I mean, Chinese food you can.
Yeah, the bad thing is if you inhale you ever inhale rice?
Yeah,
That's
it's yeah. Yeah.
not-
Just chew on the other side.
I know I could get the Nathans down. Anyway, all right, get going.
Okay.